Yes, it is once again time for death, glory, and disaster. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, and today we're going to be looking at the round of 16 of the Champion of Renown tournament. A crazy tournament involving over 66 players who did sign up, and now we're down to the last 16. This is the last round, which will be best of ones. From this moment onwards, all the other games will be best of threes or best of five for the semi-final and, for the finals and the third place place-off. And apart from that, this is best of ones, and all the other ones will be live streamed after this. There's the last round of replays, and boy, oh boy, do we have some players on display today. Up first shall be Void versus Energized. We have Schwarzen versus Falcon. Human Boy, yes, up against Pugnabon. We have Razael versus Suave. Hanadins versus Ice Power. Papa Palpatine, aka Jabba the Hutt, up against Servalano. And Dr. Jellyfish versus Alfredinio, followed by Mofert versus Neckbert. So 8 games in store today. I'm very excited for this. We're going to be hopping in and delving into as many of these games as possible. Should easily be able to get through 8 actually in the time we have today. And yeah, should be good fun. Hope you guys are excited. I'm very excited indeed. Lots of Warriors of Chaos last time, lots of Beastmen, and I'm certainly expecting to see the same thing. I think we can get a lot of both of them. Probably a lot of green skins, maybe even Dark Elves as well, who are decent counters to some of those factions. So should be some good fun. Should be some good fun indeed. What's up, Kellegar? Mr. Kellegar Iron Fist, Mr. Zypher, Nate Sweet, Revnows as well. Hello. Kuden, what's up, champ? We saw you last time playing in here. Your Barmy, of course, the Barmy Army. J Gunther, Logic_EU, the absolute boss amongst Dowie folk, and Nafis and Wicked D. Hope you guys are all good today. Boo replays? Well, Kellegar, we could try to live stream 66 games all in one go. Might not go too well. So unfortunately, it is going to be replays for the round of 32 and the round of 16. You can go back and watch those round of 32 games. Really exciting stuff. And we've done a couple as well of individual videos as well between Crablin. Who was Crablin taken on? We have one with Crablin in there, one with Falcon and Callaharman in there as well, so loads of goodness. But today, it shall be a Void versus Energized to kickstart us off. What's up, Zypher? What's up, Torx the Brass Bull? What up, champ? You'd have loved the last live stream, dude. We had so many games of Torox in. We even had Torox versus a fake Torox. So you managed to beat the living snot out of a pretender, a wannabe Torx the Brass Bull. But anyway, just for clarification, once again, in this tournament, it is an Ultra Funds tournament where you must bring at least 3 units of a Regiment of Renown. You can bring more, but you have to bring those 3. And once we get to the quarterfinals onwards, we are going to have a few tricks and traps in store for our players to put them on the back foot when they least expect it. So loads of good stuff coming in. How are you doing, Ducky? I'm doing very good. I'm excited to hop into these games with you guys, delve deep in, and check out what we have. So let's just hop into the first one, jump into this. So it is Void versus Energized. Both these guys played very good so far, and as predicted, we're just saying, hey, there's a lot of Beastmen around. There's a lot of Chaos around as well. We are actually getting Torx the Brass Bull, led by Void, up against Energized Archeon, the ever-chosen. Now, I don't think Archeon whatsoever is that bad a pick here. I think he's a really good choice up against the Beastmen. We'll have to see how he does fare, and I would argue this is maybe slightly Chaos favored with those nasty Forsaken and Chaos Spawn rushes. You can certainly do a bucket ton of damage, but a rather interesting deployment here from Void, actually taking the high ground and a defensive stance with the Beastmen. Now, you got to remember, with Ultra Funds, it completely messes up the meta. Like, everything changes, everything's very different. So we've seen a lot of different tactics that you wouldn't normally expect. So for the forces of the Beastie Boys, we have Centaurs with Throne Axes dotted along the front, including the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run. We've seen these guys so many times in this tournament. They are very powerful units. Remember when they first came out, everyone thought they were going to be useless, and now they're kind of a staple in the Beastmen roster. We have some Chaos Warhounds with Poison hiding in the trees in the distance. Nice and sneaky. And in the main battle line, we have Ungor Spearheads dotted all the way along, backed up by double Ungor Raiders and some Bester Gors. These are the best of all the Gors, including Korok's Man Rippers, a unit you get to see relatively often, but not super often for how freaking awesome they look. Look at them, so pumped up to bring death, slaughter, and destruction to the realms of man. We do have double Tuskor Chariots just behind them, a load more Centaurs as well. Centaurs, a staple amongst Beastmen folk, probably the best unit in their roster in my humble little ducky opinion. Uber Shaman of Wild as well, coming in with Traitkin. We have the Eye of Morslib, so the Regiment of Renown Cygor going for those long-range Kobe's. We have a Gorbel and Torox the Brass Bull. Looks like he is both in chat and playing at the same time. A good multitasker is our Torox, coming in here with the Brass Body as well as Slaughter's Call and a Blood Creep. worried. Awesome stuff to see him with his little brother taking him to workday. For the forces of the Warriors of Chaos, though, this is going to be pretty tough to take down. We have a load of horsemen. 1 horseman, 2 horsemen, 3 horsemen, 4 and 5. Though it looks like these 3 are actually horse masters to the elite of the elite. In the main battle line, we do have some cheap and cheerful marauders guarding the flanks, but that main central core is nice and juicy. Chaos Warriors are great weapons, more Chaos Warriors are great weapons dotted all the way along, including the rather snazzy Mirror Guard, looking pretty damn epic in their armor as they always do. Double Chaos Spawn in the center, one of which is a Regiment of Renown, the weird spawn. We then have the Summoners of Rage as well in that central pocket, and then a load of Chaos Warriors with halberds. So normally you'd see a lot more Marauders than this, but of course we have Ultra Fun, so the player here has kind of splashed the dosh a little bit, getting some more of those elite troops. We have the Summoners of Rage in the center, and Archaon the Ever-Chosen coming in, Cascading Firecloak, Burning Head, and Fireball, as well as the Slayers of Kings. Summoners of Rage, I think, is a unit we've seen every single time the Warriors of Chaos have been brought. So take your bets, folks, take your bets, and see who you think's going to do this. Taurus always misses Taurus matches. It is true. It is true indeed. Without further ado, let's get this underway. So the Skirmish Cav shall be moving forward. Of course, there's be a nice little bit of counter Skirmish Cav. The Grog Hooves Wolves run a fantastic counter skirmish unit because the fact it has regeneration, making it perfect for these duels. It does look like I have Morslip currently is aiming at all this skirmish as well. Neither opponent wanting to commit the majority of their forces, just sending forward the skirmishers at the moment. And we do get a lovely warp gaze go down on this unit of horsemen. Interesting enough, he didn't decide to put it on the horse masters, but that is a dead unit of horsemen. Centaur's just going to rampage forwards and slaughter them where they stand. Looks like Horse Masters will commit to this fight to try to overrun the Centaurs, but you've got to be careful. Centaurs are so quick, and as are all the Beastmen forces. We have Ungor Spearheads driving forward, and in comes all the reserves, all those Centaur melee versions darting forward. And unfortunately, the Horse Masters did jump on the Regiment of Renowned unit of Centaurs, who simply stood there, took the damage, and dealt it back in double. Horse Masters are very close to going down due to that long-range support from the Eye of Morslib, and the Horse Masters really are fleeing back, and that has given a little bit of a push to the Warriors of Chaos. It's like, hey, we got to get forward. We have to actually do something with our army here. We're not going to be able to win this skirmish game. One unit of horsemen already completely gone off the battlefield, and it's looking a little bit bleak in the early stages for the Warriors of Chaos. But hey, this is the very start of the battle. We don't really care what happens to our skirmish cavalry, as long as our big juicy units get in there and start decapitating the beastmen folk, taking off limbs, taking lives, and all that good stuff. Looks like some horsemen have managed to rally, though there are some rather aggressive Centaurs with Thrown Axes going to be driving down the line to try to finish them off. Horse Masters pop forward and do some pretty decent damage here to the Grog Hooves, as well as the Centaurs with Thrown Axes. Once again, though, the Grog Hooves will be able to regenerate a lot of this damage. Big threat, of course, shall be those Tuskor Chariots, who are about to delete a lot of the infantry here, as long as they are able to avoid the Chaos Spawn and the Summoners of Rage. Now, Centaur's getting nice and aggressive. We do get an early Burning Head going down the line. It does miss the majority. It was aimed at the Ungor Raiders, have a good micro by Void. Does mean he gets to mitigate the majority of the damage, though he then drives a load of his Centaurs into the Burning Head, which is less good, and they take a little bit of damage as well there. Horse Masters wrapping up and around this flank. If they can at least harass all the Thrown Axes and get the Thrown Axes off the field, you would say the Warriors of Chaos have the advantage in the infantry fight. Though those halberds are now being focused down by the Eye of Morslib, only up to 19 kills, however, using up about 50% of its ammunition. The Beastmen will be taking the high ground here. A lovely Tradekin does go down, catching all 3 units of Horse Masters, and that was an overcast. These 3 units, look at the horses dropping dead. No! Oh, that magic is so powerful against the cavalry, and the Horse Masters really suffering by being bunched up there. Now, the main fight is underway. You can see the weird spawn bomb rushing forward to assist the glorious Mirror Guard in the front, and Warriors of Chaos bouncing against the Korok's Man Rippers. Now, Torx, he smells weakness, and it is in the form of Archaon, and he pushes forward, looking to prove once and for all, I am the true master of chaos. Comes to beat on the Ever-Chosen. However, we get a standard die, Slayer of Kings plus Summoners of Rage charging in. Yeah, Torx may have been off a little bit more than he can chew here, and might want to fall back. However, the Tuskor Chariots just punch through the front line, assist him The Bestigors rather nicely in this front fight. Halberds do need to go over here and try to support their Liege Lord where possible. Centaurs are driving forward in some hit-and-run style play. Chaos Warriors really suffering to this chariot abuse. And in the back line, the Beastmen have sprung their trap with the Chaos Warhounds as well as the Centaurs overrunning all the skirmish cav and getting a lovely surround here in the middle. Now, good news for Torque's Brass Ball. We do have the Koroks Man Rippers nearby and Tuskor Chariots looking for support. And it looks like Torque's is absolutely fine. In the middle of this flustercluck, he is beating the living snot out of the petty and puny Manlin. The Summoners of Rage, of course, are a bit of a bigger problem, and it does look like that Gorbel got absolutely butchered here by the Summoners of Rage, and now they're turning their wrath upon Torque's the Brass Ball with a nasty hex coming down as well. It looks like it is going to be a Traitorkin, though, so good news for the Beastmen. That's certainly going to help support. Summoners of Rage are looking a little bit rough here in the middle. The Eye of Morcelibs having to get nice and aggressive. The Wars of Chaos starting to push into the back line. If the Ungor Raiders go down, there's a lot of their damage potential onto the larger threats gone from the battlefield. Drips and drabs coming back in for both forces, though it looks like for the majority, the Beastmen are winning the skirmish game on the outskirts of the battlefield. And now the Beastmen are starting to win that middle fight as well. Summoners of Rage are actually shattered here. Koroks Man Rippers standing ever loyal next to Torque's the Brass Ball, who alongside his Brave Shaman is dueling Archaon the Everchosen. Cascade and Firecloak goes down, but so does Warp Gaze. He's pinned in place and facing the wrong way. So Torque's big slam down. He knocks a few Bestigors down, but he always gets his prize, devouring Archaon the Everchosen's skull and gaining his power. And it looks like that is going to be a victory for the Beastmen. So Chaos and 0, Beastmen 1 today. I expect to see a lot more Chaos and a lot more Beastmen as we do delve into the next 7 games, but it looks like Void shall be claiming a spot into the quarterfinals, which is going to be, just a heads up, this Thursday at 7 p.m. GMT, which should be some really good fun. We're going to be delving in to 4 best of 3s, so that's going to be wild stuff. And it looks like Suave did manage to pick himself a spot there into the quarterfinals. Very well played to himself, and very well played to Energized as well. Energized was one of those dark horses for this event, I think. Particularly in best of 1s, Energized is very, very scary. Didn't get to see his Lizardmen in action, but hey, we don't know how the picks and bans went, so his favourite Dino Boys might have actually been banned. And Chaos certainly aren't a bad substitute, doing some really nice work there with the Everchosen, getting down and dirty, trying to smite Taurox. But we all know, and I believe Torx will explain in chat as well, that Taurox isn't easily a better warrior than Archaon the Everchosen. In fact, I'd argue Torque's Brass Ball is the Everchosen. It's 1.4k for the fake Everchosen, not doing too bad whatsoever. Mirror Guard, 660 damage value, and 83 kills certainly isn't too shabby. The rest of the units, you know, in the mid-hundreds, mid to very low hundreds actually, so not too good for the infantry. Likewise, the Chaos Spawn both suffered, only 6 and 66 kills, 430 and 430 damage value. A big loss, of course, was losing that skirmish fight. Losing the skirmish fight is always really rough, regardless of which faction you are, but particularly for the Warriors of Chaos, and when they, you know, up against the Beastmen that they have a load of large threats you need your skirmish cav for, and the Beastmen didn't even use up much ammunition to win the skirmish fight. Using instead the gaze from the regiment around Cygor was really nice, plus his own Centaurs just to push back and harass the enemy where possible. None of the Horse Masters came close to paying for themselves, unfortunately. The Summoners of Rage, though, did a fantastic job. 1,689 damage value, just beating that Gorbel up. But hey, he was old. Hey, was it Gorbel or Doomball? Yeah, Gorbel, but he's the younger brother, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And Taurox, the Brass Ball, 2,375 damage value of 9 kills. Very lovely stuff. 1.6 on the Brave Shaman with 75 kills. Lovely use of that magic to gain the map control by wiping out the enemy skirmishers. And it's just a general pain in the butt spell to deal with. Unfortunately for the Gorbel, he kind of got beat up really bad. But hey, he crawled so Taurox could run. Only 568 value on him. The cheap and relatively cheerful Ungors died in their droves. 1.2k damage value for the Bestigors and 1.2 again on the Koroks Man Rippers. Lovely performance by the elite boys. You don't get to see Bestigors all that often, but when you do, they can often get you some really juicy value back, particularly up against a faction like Wards of Chaos, where the majority of their magic and their range is going to be aimed at other elements of your build. The Goroks standing alongside Taurox was really nice in that central pocket. Unfortunately, the Ungor Raiders just got slammed. Good pressure from Energized. guys, and they got, 240, 390 value, nothing crazy. Centaurs in the mid to low 100s damage value, likewise for the Tuskor chariots, but did a good job chasing off a lot of the units which were routing in the back there. 780 damage value from the Centaur Thronaxes, 1,635, certainly winning that skirmish game. And 835 damage value on the eyes, not incredible, but hey, not terrible either. And 40 kills to boot as well. Not a bad start for the Beastie Boys in today's stream. Next, we do actually have green skins of Schwarzen up against the Dark Elves of Falcon, which should be a good fun one. Should be a good fun one. What's up, Caradok, the absolute legend? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing all good. I love SFO, but vanilla is easier to learn. 100% it's easier to learn for sure. For sure. What's up, Gromby? Hi. How's it going, champ? Hope you're all good today, man. Oops, I'm late. No worry, Prism Man. You are here now. It's going to be good fun. We've got another 7 games to get through yet, bud, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it whatsoever. Yeah, you need people with the same mods if you're gonna carry over it, Matt, unfortunately. So you can only play modded people if you have people with mods yourself. So it looks like we are going to be jumping into this one. Schwarzen of the Greenskins up against Falcon's Dark Elves. Let's pop into this one. So I actually did cast Falcon's around a 32 game today as well, which was really awesome actually, up against Calaharman. So Falcon has had to take down some pretty damn good players already, and now he goes up against yet another one. VM versus XMT, the old rivalry. Let's see who comes out on top on this one. And it's really cool. We're going to see some Dark Elves in action and no Marathi in sight. We actually have Malekith here, which should be pretty interesting. Looks like the Greenskins gone a little bit more traditional, coming in the Grom and that giant River Troll Hag. Prague, nice big flat open map, so plenty of room for skirmish, plenty of room for pulling back and distracting your opponent. So let's see how this one does indeed go. And Falcon has been using a lot of dragons in this tournament to great effect. I really do wonder if the ultra funds and just the more elite nature of the armies, while still being able to go wide, is kind of encouraging more units such as dragons. We've seen a lot of them so far. So Malekith is going to be coming in with the Gaze of Malice, of course, and Soul Sealer, and double Ferromanticore as his bodyguards. In the main front, we have a bucket ton of skirmish. We're actually going to pause this battle. It looks like it gets underway rather quickly. We do have Dark Riders, so a load of Dark Riders are dotted along, as well as Dark Riders with repeated crossbows. A lovely little pair in there. It's always nice to escort your lightly armored range skirmish, if possible, with some lightly armored cavalry, who can kind of keep up with their swift mobility. Thank you so much, Nate, by the way, for becoming a Royal Duck. Quack, quack, good sir. The Legion does grow. Please drop me a message on Discord, buddy, and I can get you your Discord status changed there. We have double K-Knight Assassin as well in the center. It looks like they are kind of Web of Shadows as well as the Assassin's Trophy, which is quite nice. In the main battle line, it is going to be the Hellebroni. Hello. That's pretty damn cool to see these guys in action. Don't get to see them terribly often. A load of Dread Spears as well along the battle line. And then we've got the Black Guard of Nagrond in the central force, backed up by the Blades of the Blood Queen and the Sisters of Singing Doom. Holy hell, this secondary battle line for the Dark Elves is incredibly awesome. I can't wait to see them in action. There's a load of elite troops there with a couple of large monsters and a load of fast mobile elements. As for the Greenskin forces, we do have the Death Creepers supporting the Morgrub's Mangy Marauders, and a little bit more skirmish cavalry as well, in the form of Goblin Wolf Rider Archers and Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers as well. We have the 8-Peak Loons on the right-hand side, a bit of a staple amongst Greenskin folk. We then have a load of Savage Orcs in the front and Savage Orc Biggins, which is an interesting choice here. The lack of armor will mean they're rather susceptible to missile pressure. However, they do come in with a decent amount of physical resistance as well of 25%. Not bad at all. We have some Orc Boar Boy Biggins on the left-hand side as well as on the right-hand side. And then we have Stone Trolls in the center of the formation. They're certainly going to be packing quite a big punch here. We have Grom the Paunch with all of the goodies, as well as a giant River Troll Hag, Spirit Leech, and Purple Sun. So without further ado, let's get this battle underway. So the Skirmish Cav fight is instantly being won by the Dark Elves, at least the early scrap there. Now remember, Death Creepers do have regeneration, so they can come back into it, although that was a really nasty early volley. It does look like the Dark Elves managed to catch the Greenskins a little bit off guard there. Malekith is going to be slowly just flapping those big wings and launching himself towards the enemy battle line. Not too much that can pressure him, at least not enough that's going to do massive damage when he has Soul Sealer, of course, as a possible avenue of escape. We do get a Spirit Leech go down on one of the assassins, who's not enjoying that whatsoever. General Mitchell Hag does get 360 no-scoped quite a bit and will probably be driven back once more to regenerate up. The assassins as well doing some really lovely work here, and the Savage Orc Biggins are just driving forward now, trying to take the fight to the Dark Elves, and the Dark Elves say, no, not today. I don't want to fight you. I'm going to fall back with my entire army, and this is 100% the play to do. He has the range advantage, continue to kite backwards, continue to annoy and harass your opponent. A unfortunate, though, cycle charge failed there by the Dark Riders, kind of getting caught out by a lot of the skirmish cavalry, support Morgels, Major Marauders, and the like, dishing out the pain. Dark Riders are now starting to focus down the Stone Trolls, doing some pretty decent damage to them. Lots of damage as well going into the Night Goblins, who unfortunately did take a decent amount of damage there. Malekith going to continue to fall back, and the Dark Elves retreat deeper and deeper into the forest. Savage Orcs are pushing forward, as well as the Gobos on this right-hand side. They are starting to catch the enemy. A lovely Gaze of Malice goes down. Look at that value on the Savage Orc Biggins. That took so much work there, and it looks like Falcon's kind of drawing him into a trap. You can see the greenskins, they're all in a bit of a flustercluck right now, all kind of compact together, and the Dark Elves can simply kite back, harass, and isolate key targets. So the Savage Orcs on this side are about to be jumped by Blackguard of Nagrond plus Dark Riders. It's not a good fight for them whatsoever, and the Assassins are falling back into the trees now. Helebroni and Blades of the Blood Queen are continuing to fall back. Looks like we are going to see a big, fat, juicy breath attack, perhaps. No, it looks like a false attack. The Goblin Wolf Riders actually moved into combat briefly, and oh no. Oh no, is this a Soul Stealer? Oh, that's like half the Greenskin forces gets devoured by a Soul Stealer. The Helebroni are going to move into hand-to-hand combat there. Dark Riders are forcing off the Greenskin skirmishers rather lovely, and that is so much damage. My god. If you could follow this up with a lovely breath attack down the line, it would be devastating. Dread Spears are starting to push forward onto the Stone Trolls, and in the back, the Greenskin forces have been slaughtered by the Blackguard of Nagrond. Manticores using their mobility as well to jump on those units, and in the main fight, it does look like we do get a nasty web of shadows going down. All these units are bunched up around the Helebroni, sacrificing their lives so the Dark Elves can get off this glorious damage. Malekith does dive down, as well as the double Manticores, looking to terrify the Stone Trolls as quickly as possible, and things are looking pretty good right now for the Dark Elf forces. However, the war has been popped. Blades of the Blood Queen and Blackguard are slaughtering troops in the back, though the Greenskins are starting to make a bit of headway, and it looks like a very, very, very early concede there by the Greenskin forces. Okay. I mean, they did just get eaten by yet another Soul Stealer in the middle, and once again, it is going to catch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. But that seems like a very early concede. I do think Falcon had got the better of the majority of the engagements there, and had kind of sucked the Greenskins into this trap, constantly falling back, bunching all the Greenskins up, kind of managing the game, and then hitting them with the Soul Stealer, Web of Shadows, Soul Stealer, Web of Shadows over and over again. Does a load of damage, but look how many forces are alive still for the Greenskins. They had so many troops left. I think it definitely was Dark Elf favored, and quite a bit, due to the fact that a lot of the Greenskin forces have kind of been isolated, but a pretty early concede, but it is what it is. Well played to Mr. Falcon. He will actually be facing, I think, Void in the next round, maybe? Is it Void he faces? I'll have to double check the bracket at the end of this, but I think he may be up against Void in the next round. We'll have to... Well, no, he's not. He's not. Someone else is. Well, we'll have to see anyway, but those first two guys, I think, could meet in the... perhaps the semi-finals or something. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, very well played to Mr. Falcon. Malekith getting 1.4k damage value, is about to rise considerably as well with that other Soul Stealer coming down. As for the Assassins, 666, they worship the Dark Arts, and they certainly knew how to use them today. 844 as well on this other K-Knight Assassin. And yeah, the Dark Elves did a pretty decent job all across the board. I mean, not big damage value, but the battle didn't go on that long. So, you know, mid-500s and so forth for the infantry troops. And the crossbowmen got some decent work done as well. Manticores were starting to swoop in. And yeah, an early concede indeed. I thought you'd doing a decent job, though. He'd kind of been pulled into the center a bit. He still was starting to finally chew through that left-hand flank. I don't think there's anything crazy damage value for either force, unfortunately. Let's have a little look. No, nothing too crazy. And the Stone Trolls were very healthy as well. It was very healthy as well. So, boop, let's end that one. And Falcon will indeed be moving through. Up next, though, we have Human Boy, yes, with his Skaven forces and Pug. Pugnabon bringing in my Dino boys, yes. Mama's boy won, exactly. Nafis. Even when Marafi's not there, you can definitely tell, you know, Malekith takes his instructions rather wisely. Rather wisely indeed. So up next, it will be Human Boy Yes Yes up against Pugnabon, and then we have Razael versus Suave, Haddins versus Ice Power, Palpatine versus Servalano, Dr. Jellyfish versus Alfredinio, and Mofit versus Neckbush. Should be a good fun game. Going to take a little sip of my drink while we take a couple of minutes break. But who's your money on, boys? Drop a little lizard or a little gecko if you think Pugnabon's lizardmen shall be victorious, or drop some cheese or some rat emojis if you think Human Boy Yes Yes shall claim the prize. Greetings, Rubber Duck and peoples of the internet. What's up, Major Moolah? How are you today, champ? Hope you're all good in the hood. Juicy, juicy water. Remember, guys, there is actually a $1,200 prize pool on the line for these guys, which is pretty damn crazy. It's definitely the biggest prize pool we've ever done here on the channel. So massive shout out to Hans, who did indeed make this possible. I'm going to be delving a little bit more into, you know, and maybe getting some discussions with him and so forth on live stream once we do get to the semi-finals, quarterfinals, all that kind of good stuff in the future, and how we're going to lay it out. But basically the top 4 will be getting prizes, but there's a long way for that yet. They've got quite a few more rounds to get through, as this is just the round of 16. But I'm enjoying this game so far, so let's just go straight into this on a roll and pop in to Human Boy Yes Yes with the Skaven up against Pugnabon and his Lizard Boys. Fox Brass Ball coming with the little mouse, indeed. I thought you meant in general. I generally play who I like regardless of strength. Yeah. It's always good just to, like, play to your strengths, man. And, you know, also if you... It doesn't really matter the level of player you play up against, but if you play better players than you will learn a little bit quicker and also kind of pick up on a few of their strategies and so forth. So it looks like we have a lovely Dowie defensive geometry coming in by the Skaven. I'm sure they won't like me saying that, but the Skaven steal a lot of tech, and they definitely stole the formation from the Dwarfs. It's basically like an eye, which is really cool, and the center of the eye, the pupil, is very, very deadly. So on the outskirts, we just have clan rats, a bucket ton of clan rats. Normally you'd have Skaven slaves here, but hey, it's ultra funds. Why not go a little bit bougie? We have clan Vulcan tail slashers as well, Beric Dondarrion's favorite ratty boys, and a couple more clan rats in the back, including the Council Guard, the Regiment of Renowned Storm Vermin. Having an unbreakable unit amongst the faction like the Skaven, who are a little bit skittery to say the least, is super useful indeed. We do have Poison Wing Globadiers as well, 1 and 2. We have Warlord Razaels and Teeth Breakers in that central pocket, a couple of Rat Ogres, and a Hell Pit Abomination. We also have a Grayspear of Rune in the back here. This guy always is having an absolute blast, one of the coolest models in the game, just simply for how happy he is to be on one of his dreaded contraptions. He's going to be coming in with a Howling Warp Gale and the dreaded 13th spell, Holy Clamour, and of course Scourge. Really excited to see if we can get some nasty dreaded 13th spells going down. The sound animation alone for it is particularly cool. With a Plague Priest in the front, once again, no doubt going to be coming in with some more summons. Unfortunately not having quite as good a day. He's just kind of vibing on this lower platform, but he knows who's in charge. He has Vermintide and Pestilent Breath as well. No Pestilent Birth, unfortunately, though. We have some Warlord Razaels in the center, and Itix Zap Zap in the back, so a decent amount of range potential in the central core. Bucket ton of chaff with some summons and some large monsters as well. I think Skaven can do relatively good in Ultra Funds due to the fact they can be a little bit more elite and still bring those heavy damage dealers. As for the forces of Pugnabon, we do have Pterodon Riders up in the skies, 1, 2, and 3. Third one is the Pohawks Sentinels. Really nasty rock drop on these bad boys. You've got to be careful when your opponent does field them. We have Chameleon Stalkers, we have Skin Cohorts, but I'm being quite distracted by arguably the most beautiful unit I have ever seen on the battlefield. Pugnabon, the champ, representing XMT, bringing the Cohort of Hoatl here, the Regiment of Renowned Sacred Croxagors, the ultimate Power Fist. Now, I love this pick. Do I agree with this pick? Probably not. But hey, they've got Armor Sundering, they have magic attacks, and they look freaking epic. They're basically Space Marines if they were Space Marines were lizards. Yeah, I love everything about this pick. Everything about it whatsoever. We have Skin Cohorts of Javelins, we have Cohort of Sotek, we have Saurus Warriors dotted all the way along. Pretty nasty stuff indeed. We do have more Croxagor as well. I've already kind of let my opinion be known on what I think of Croxagors. I don't think they're that great, unfortunately, due to pretty garbage melee attack stats and so forth. But come on, if they're paired with a Cohortl, I'm going to back my boy Pugnabon here. Double Feral Stegodon as well. We actually have a Kroxigor Ancient, one of the coolest looking units in the entire game. Skin Priest coming in with the Curse as well as a Flock of Doom. No Manticore Summon, which is interesting. And double Horned ones in the back. That's some pretty elite infantry, but hey, once they get down and dirty, they really do start ripping and tearing into the enemy. And the Sacred Kroxigor, the Kroxigor Ancient, I should say, looks so freaking cool. His headdo always gets me. It's a very awesome unit, and you mainly bring him for a cheap access to the Horn of Kygor and the Amulets of Itzel. Very powerful spells and items all round. So without further ado, take your last bets, and we're going to be hopping into this one. 3, 2, 1, boop. And it's going to be interesting to see where this long-range fire pressure is going to be going into. Do you shoot the Feral Stegodons? Do you shoot the Kroxigor? Or do you go after the Kroxigor Ancient? A good bet will be these Pterodons as well. And you can see some of the Razaels are actually trying to fend them off, because the main punch of this Skaven build is in that range potential. Yes, we have the Hell Pit, and we have a few other elements as well, which can be rather naughty. But if the Pterodons are able to get the rock drops they want, it's really, really bad news for the Skaven folk. We do get a couple of Warlord Razael shots aiming at the Kroxigor here. Warp Lightning shots as well, starting to explode in the back, though they haven't connected with anything meaningful. Only a couple of little skinkies, and hey, we spawn them by the dozen. However, the Kroxigor taking an absolute pounding on the approach, which is really bad news for them. We do have a load of Feral Stegodons, though, and of course the Cohort, who can move forward and bring the pain, even if this unit does unfortunately go down. Nice little early summon here of Clan Rats, just to try to pin the enemy back. Wouldn't mind seeing them chucked into the Cohort of Sotek there, or absorbing the Javelins, and in come the Teeth Breakers. Dagger, 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 dagger. Yes, yes, yes. As they shoot into the Pohawk Sentinels, absolutely eviscerating about a third of their HP with one volley there, and that's only going to add up more and more. Kroxigor Ancient has popped all his buffs, increasing the melee attack of the Feral Stegodon up to 54, and they are crushing it. Kroxigor Ancient is beelining straight for the Warlord Razaels, looking to shut them down. However, there's a rather nasty Hell Pit Abomination, and he just flings the Kroxigor with one small flick of the wrist and sends it flying. Pohawk Sentinels do get a nasty little rock drop down. Does look like the Poison Globulars are being shut down, and the Pohawks dive into the Teeth Breakers, who have caused them so much pain and trouble so far. Horned ones likewise are trying to pounce onto the Teeth Breakers, but we get the dreaded 13th spell. These halberd wielding storm vermin on top of the Horned ones is a really lovely catch there by Human Boy, as he's trying to force back the Stegodons, who are grinding down the Rat Ogres with the support of the Skaven cohorts. Now, where are the cohorts of Huatl? Here they are, getting down and dirty, fist bumping some Rat Ogres, and certainly doing a decent amount of damage, up to a mighty 2 kills. Taurus Warriors need to get by and support. More Horned ones starting to pour into the gap, but that summon of the rather nasty dreaded 13th spell has kind of stabilized the back pocket a little bit. Taurus Warriors continuing to try to drive forward, but the Rat Ogre's been a last line of defense here. It does look like the Warlord Razaels starting to go down to Horned ones, but the key units, the Itic Zap Zap, the Poison Globadiers, the Warlord Razaels, they are all still online, and balance of power is starting to reflect that as Chameleon Stalkers start to go down and more Skaven do rally in the distance here. Poor Kroxigor Ancient has been getting chased around the map. It kind of challenged the Hell Pit Abomination to a 1v1 fight, and then has decided that he regrets that life decision, and he's just running. He's just trying to flee. Leave me alone, nasty Hell Pit Abomination, and get out of there as quickly as possible. Horned ones are coming for a nice surround on the Plague Priest. Not a bad target whatsoever. They are not anti-large like the Cold One Spear Riders, but they pack such a huge punch. They'll be able to rip into the Plague Priest and drag that smelly Skaven down to his doom. Court of Huatl as well as Chameleon Stalkers need to get nice and aggressive now. There's a big opening right here into the pocket of Warlord Razaels as well as the Globadiers, and it looks like the Court of Huatl though instead have decided to come back in and try to finish off this Plague Priest for good. We can see the Grey Seer as well is starting to drive forward. Horned ones as well as Stegodons are rampaging. This is a big negative to Lizardmen. It is this rampage mechanic. He can't control them, and they rampage directly into the anti-large Council Guard, slaughtering the beautiful dinos where they stand. But you can see Source Warriors starting to drive in. Kroxigors as well. Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers moving to intercept the Chameleon Stalkers, and they get shot in the back of their own dome from some friendly fire. That's what you get for being a Skaven. Lots and lots of friendly fire. Teeth Breakers are trying to focus down the Kroxigor Ancient, who hasn't had the best of days so far, and the Chameleon Stalkers and Kroxigor doing a good job shutting down the Poison Globadiers. They're not quite able to kill them. It looks like they are starting to waver and break as Army Losses gets relatively close here. The Cohort of Huatl have barely got going, only lost one model, but the rest of the army breaks around them. It looks like it is going to be a rather decent victory from the Skaven there, a close victory. Good pressure by Pugnabon, got into that back line, did a lot of damage and shut down a lot of troops. But Human Boy, yes, always has a backup plan. Plenty of summons, the dreaded 13th spell as well to kill that unit of Horned Ones was so lovely and beautiful. And then he simply grounded out the opponent in the front line. So a sad day for Lizard folk and Lizard fans alike, but the Skaven shall reign supreme. Human Boy, yes, coming in with the juicy victory. Well played to both these guys, was certainly a good fun, and I think a bit closer than just close victory there. That was a very good game, with Pugnabon just shutting down the enemy units, but a little bit too little too late, and then he got quite beat up in the art of doing so. The Grey Sea of Ruin did come in with only 700 damage value, but hey, he's more here for the summons, and that dreaded 13th spell was kind of worth his price alone. 1,095 damage value from the Plague Priest certainly isn't too bad. And as for the Clan Rats, very low hundreds, as you'd expect. Some of them not even getting quite to 100 damage value, but they held the line, then ran away, came back, and held the line again. There's this all kind of constant speed bump, which disappears and reappears, grinding down the lizard folk in general. 840 damage value from Council Guard, not shabby, considering they were basically full health at the end of this, and 66 kills really is quite tasty. Poison Globadiers, 767 and 437 damage value. Lovely work there by the Poisoned Winds. One unit paying for itself, one not. They are really one of the most cost-effective units in the game, though. They can do some lovely damage. Warlord Razael's always nice to have that long-range pressure. 600 damage value and 1,072. Focusing down the Crocosagore and generally softening up the Lizardmen forces on approach, so that when they did get there, they Skaven were able to overrun and kind of beat them back rather quickly. Lovely play by the Teeth Breakers, a massive fan of this unit. 1,153 damage value. Mwah. Beautiful work from them. And the Rat Ogres across the board, 800 value, 400 value. Decent work. 953 from the Hell Pit Abomination. 1.2 on Itik's Zap Zap. As for Pugnabon, I do admit I love the play of the Croxor Ancient with the, whatever they're called, the Cold of Huatl. They got 644 value. Hey, my boys did work. They were still alive as well. They were still alive. Oh, God. So my chat froze for a while. And I missed, like, 1,000 messages. Oh, it's the Pound Town, baby. It is definitely the Pound Town with the Power Fists. What's up, Elfar? And hope it's going all good, man. Dreaded 13th is the ultimate crowd pleaser spell. I mean, it went off good today. It went off good. What's up, McRoyface champ? How are you today, buddy? Hope you're all good in the herd. So you saw us was okay. Nothing too crazy. Pretty decent kills, 62, 36, and so forth, but nothing out of this realms. Horned One's got 720 and 1.7k. Really nice play by Pugnabon. I do wonder if it was worth cutting one Horned One and maybe trying to get a bit more cav to pop in the back line, but he probably thought he had enough, really. Segdon's 630 and 195 damage value. Not too bad whatsoever. Not too bad whatsoever. But unfortunately for him, he will be bowing out. You can hold your head high, champ, though, if you do come back and watch us at any point. Because, you know, you got all the way here to the round of 16. The Human Boy, yes, shall be moving on to the glorious quarterfinals. And up next, it is going to be ODM's very own Razael up against RTK's Suave. I think that's Chaos versus Wood Elves. We've seen a lot of Chaos today. It'll be interesting to see how the Wood Elves come in to try to counter them. What's up, Papa Palpatine? Hope you're all good, bud. We actually have a replay from you today, just down here, which should be good, which does look like Beastmen versus Tomb Kings. Hopefully they'll make Torx proud. Hopefully he brought Torx Brass Ball, though I know Papa Palpatine is also a little bit partial to Kazrak One Eye. They have Razael versus Suave, Hanadins versus Ice Power, Palpatine versus Servalano, Dr. Jellyfish versus Alfredinio, and Mofit versus Neckbert. Should really be a load of good games. Should be a load of good games. But we'll chill out for a couple of seconds and speak to you guys and catch up a little bit. The sake of Boxagors didn't box as one to have wished. Oh, as well as we had wished. Yeah, for sure, Aloys. I wish they had done a little bit better. And welcome to the showdown. Oh, hell yeah. Welcome to the showdown. And it's a dark day. A dark day indeed. It's the Quack Attack pack. It's always the Quack Attack pack. What's up, Wicked? The absolute ever mod. Skinks over everything else. There's a few people who would agree with your statements there. A few things who would agree with your statements. McRoyface, how did it go in the end with your creating your latest video? Last couple of times I spoke to you, you were kind of in mid-process. Yes. Find the mouth of Mork Gordrak, says Augusto. I don't know what that is, but it sounds green skinny. I completely forgot. I had a poll up, didn't I? Let's end the poll. What do you guys vote for on Gork and Mork? Personally, I've always been a little bit inclined to both a bit of Gork and Mork. I like both of them quite considerably. Let's see what the votes ended as. Dun, 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 dun. You guys voted 38% think Gork and Mork is better than Mork and Gork, and Mork 16, Gork 16, as it should be, but it looks like Gork is on top, and he certainly knows his place. Let's grab a little sip of water, and then hop into this game. Razael, Warriors of Chaos, Suave, Wood Elves. It's gonna be an epic one. The traditional juicy 20 stack of Warriors of Chaos. Now, we've seen them a lot in the best of one. This is the last best of one round, however. From this point onwards, it is best of three. Interesting to see if the Warriors of Chaos still keep up, kind of being the dominant faction so far. They've 100% been picked the most by far in any faction. Beastmen the closest second place. Seen a decent amount of Wood Elves and Dark Elves and Greenskins as well. Not as much Lizardmen as I would expect, which is a little bit sad, but hey, we can't have it all our own way. So let's hop into this and check out the Warriors of Chaos build. We have Forsaken, more Forsaken, Chaos Marauders, as well as Mirror Guard dotted all the way through the front line. So Forsaken actually taken to the flanks. Now, Forsaken, you'd think, why are they good against Wood Elves? They don't have much armor. Wood Elves like to shoot things. You would expect armor to be quite a big deal. They also don't have shields. However, they do have 46 speed. A unit of infantry of 46 speed and 85 armors, not that bad whatsoever. They're able to apply a lot of pressure, and they're huge damage dealers. They really grind through Eternal Guard rather quickly. We do have a load of cavalry as well, as to be expected, in the form of Marauder Horsemasters, 4 units in fact along the back, and a couple of units of Chaos Chariots. We do have the Summoners of Rage making up their 100% pick rate at the moment, every time that Chaos has been brought to the battlefield. Double Chaos Ferromanticore in the skies. Oh, it looked like the... That's weird. If you zoom like far out, the wings go blue. I guess it's reflecting at the sky, at least we'll say. They work in the same way as the sea. We have a Chaos Sorcerer of Death coming with Spirit Leech and Doom and Darkness, and a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire with Flame and Solar Rune and Burning Head. And it's going to be our boy, Prince Sigvald the Magnificent, looking absolutely regal and beautiful as always, surrounded by his Mirror Guard, as it should be. Pretty awesome build, going to get very aggressive, driving towards the Wood Elves, and trying to use speed and mobility to counter skirmish. As for Suave himself, he does have Glade Riders on the right-hand side, supported by some great Stag Knights on the left-hand side, Wild Hunters of Kurnos, and once again more great Stag Knights. Some of the most beautiful looking models in the entire game. They really did a fantastic job with them. I mean, I love Wild Riders as much as the next guy, but come on, great Stag Knights, they just they're kind of the peak of the peak here. We do have some Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards. Suave trying to win my heart as always. I love me some Swift Shiver Shards. Main battle line is a load of Eternal Guards dotted all the way along. Backed up by double Blade Singers, interestingly enough. Decent at dealing with cheap and cheerful infantry, as well as the elite. You can kind of switch their attack stance to better suit their opponents. We have Eternal Guard, we have the Wardens of Sithrall in the back, supporting Durfu. If you're going to bring Durfu, I always recommend bringing the Wardens. They work so well together, countering a lot of threats if you can deal with enemy skirmish and mobility. We have Sword of Dave, we have a Manticore Summon, and we have a Flock of Doom. Without further ado, let's delve into this battle. It is the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny, and the Deepwood Scouts unleashing shot after shot. It looks like into the Mirror Guard to start with. Definitely want to focus down the enemy skirmish cav where possible, because that will allow Durfu to absolute shine, and it looks like Suave is well aware of this, and he's starting to pull back a lot of his forces. He does aim at the skirmish cav. Unfortunately, the skirmish cav is able to juke the majority of his shots, and in come the sorcerers, Leroy Jenkins style, rather risky. Blade Singer is going to be a nom 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 and just jump on them, starting to slice them up. Could be a bit of a trap though if we see a Burning Head come down the line. However, Durfu is moving in. Eternal Guard decide now is the time, now is the hour. Warriors of Alpha Lauren, it is time to fight. Big Fat Burning Head does come in, and it looks like it was a bit of a trap. Roasting Deepwood Scouts, Blade Singers, and Winterheart Guard alike. Durfu doth stand alone, but in comes the Manticore Summon and the Wardens on the left-hand flank. You can see Chaos Chariots being countered by Great Stag Knights. They themselves, though, being countered by the Summoners of Rage, and the Horsemen doing a decent job in the back. On this flank, have the Great Stag Knights and Glade Riders forcing off enemy skirmishers to decent effect. All the Deepwood Scouts, though, have been slaughtered. We've seen that multiple times this tournament where people haven't been able to protect their long-range skirmish for the forces of the Wood Elves. However, big turning point in the middle. He doesn't give a damn about skirmish. He's got Durfu. 1 Chaos Sorcerer down. 2 Chaos Sorcerers down. The Chaos Chariots as well starting to falter, and Prince Sigvald fleeing for his pathetic life from the might of Durfu, who's driving forward, and some of the skirmish cav has been caught here by Glade Riders, pinning them in place and force them away. The Wood Elves punching back hard in the center, doing some lovely work, and it looks like some Deepwood Scouts were rescued on the left-hand side. Eternal Guard and Blade Singers fighting in unison to carve their way through Forsaken and Marauders. doing some decent work. However, the chariots simply going to use their mass to push through and start overrunning the Deepwood Scouts. We do have Wild Hunters, though. These guys need to try to shut down the Chaos Chariots. We've got Great Stags returning as well. Kill the chariots, and you can save your infantry. Durfu's been a raid boss. Looks like one of the sorcerers has come back. We also have the Summoners of Rage in here, and Prince Sigvald, who's taken an absolute beating so far, unfortunately for him. However, Durfu is being supported by the Wardens, who are fantastic against all these targets. So this isn't a bad situation for Durfu, who's already managed to take a big chunk out of this Manticore and force it back. It looks like, unfortunately, though, the Wood Elf Manticore has dissipated and fallen. Deepwood Scouts in the back are being finished up now by Forsaken, bomb rushing them and carving them to pieces. Good use of the Chaos Mobility. Prince Sigvald needs to be careful. He has great melee defense for sure, but every time he takes a hit from Durfu, it's really going to hurt, and Slippery's being popped. He needs to try to fall back here, because the Wardens, as well as the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, have just paired the Summons of Rage back in their back pocket, and going to be finishing them off for good, it would seem. They're getting very low, just 3 models. Wood Elves starting to dominate the battlefield a little bit. However, there is something really good going for the Wards of Chaos, and that's all of their skirmish cav is very healthy, decent amounts of ammunition. One unit though does get picked on here by the Great Stag Knights, who are going down rather quickly. Once again, Chaos Sorcerer of Death falls back. Summoners of Rage are running for their lives, and Durfu the Mighty still stands strong. 3,700 HP. Wood Elves moving in unison as one fluid wave, trying to crash over the Warriors of Chaos. Chariots being forced back, as well as Marauders. He needs to keep these Deepwood Scouts alive, though. 55 models is a decent amount, and they're a good counter here to the Horsemasters, who are able just to Kobe javelin after javelin. And oh no, the Wood Elves, they've completely left Durfu alone. This is really bad news. The double Manticores may swoop in here and take a bit of a chunk. He's also taken massive damage from the Horsemasters, and there is no healing for Durfu, unfortunately. Normally see a branch wave of Earthblood, but it looks like he went a little bit cheaper in that department instead. The Chaos Maulers not having a good day. However, Great Stag Knights have just been terrified, which is good use of that Feral Manticore there. You can see Forsaken are being beaten back, and the Wood Elves trying to stand firm. This is really problematic, is this right here. This triple Horsemasters is certainly raining down shot after shot onto Durfu. Spirit comes in, but likewise does a Flock of Doom and Sword of Dave, and the Warriors of Chaos army is certainly getting drowned in magical pain here, but the Feral Manticore is still strong. It's going to swoop in. The majority of the Wards of Chaos, as well as the Wood Elves, do both break and run for their life. Manticores, though, 2v1 in Durfu right now. The Wardens try to stand firm next to their Liege Lord, and I think they could do it if it wasn't for these pesky Horsemasters. They've got so much work done right now, and it looks like Durfu may unfortunately go down here. If Durfu falls, the Wood Elves have 0 chance. We do have Great Stag Knights coming in for a rear attack, which is really nice, with some big hits from the Manticores, and Prince Sigvald does drag low the mighty tree, and oh, down he goes, my beautiful baby boy, fighting to the bitter end. It's not a sight any of us like to see. Durfu kind of collapsed on the ground like that. With him going down, there is no way for the Wood Elves to get back into this. An incredibly tight and competitive game. The Horsemasters there, though, just did so much work. Suave being unable to finish off the enemy skirmishers basically cost him the game, because Durfu won that infantry fight nearly single-handedly, getting over 3,600 damage value. Oh, that was nasty stuff. Durfu getting isolated. Kind of that last little mistake there by Suave, keeping Durfu on his own as the rest of his forces chased off the enemy. Left him isolated and just allowed the Horsemasters complete free range to destroy him. And though Durfu was mighty, the battle wasn't quite won. Razael, bam, counterpunch with a quick counterattack, manages to seal victory. That might have been the closest game so far. That really did come down to the wire, but Prince Sigvald was pretty tonky in the end still, and could have perhaps been able to win this. The Wardens have Bodyguard. I don't know if the Wardens actually do have Bodyguard. Do they have Guardian? I can't remember if they have Guardian. They're very good bodyguards, though. The Armor Sundren, certainly very nice. 97 kills on Durfu, 3,636 damage value. Very lovely play there. 14k damage dealt as well. Tunnel Guard did, okay, nothing too crazy. Mid to low hundreds. The Wardens, 31 kills, 1,134 damage value. 999, so say the Blade Singers as they lose, but unfortunately that is the same damage value. They got 129 kills. The other unit seemed to fare a lot worse, right? Way less kills, but more damage value. 1,214. Deepwood Scouts, 1,000 value, but the other two, 300 and 365. I've seen a lot of people throw away Deepwood Scouts at the moment in the early game, have them way ahead of their army and then kind of getting jumped. Imagine if at least just one more unit of them had been able to survive as long as this one here. It's a different game then. It's a completely different game. The Horse Masters die, the Deepwood Scouts do reign supreme. I quite like them though as a counterpick here to the enemy skirmishers. Grey Stag Knights, 676 damage value, 445 and 676 on the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, mid-hundreds for the Glade Riders. So nothing too crazy for the mobility core, unfortunately, for the Wood Elves. As for Razael, an absolute champ, always a pleasure to play him as well as see him play on the channel. We'll be booking a spot here into the glorious quarterfinals. We have Prince Sigvald the Magnificent, 897 damage value, 1.3k on the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, 644 on the Chaos Sorcerer of Death. Marauders across the board did okay, nothing too crazy. The Forsaken, 1,338 damage value. Oh, that's nasty. 64 kills as well. 968 and 618. Man, the Forsaken did such a good job today. 112, 41, 64 kills. Absolute beasts. Mirrorguard got jumped in the middle a little bit, unfortunately. 579 value on them. 780 on the Demon Spew. Chariots did good harass in the back, getting 740 and 720 value. Now it comes down to the Horse Masters. 885, 673, 1,077 and 445 damage value. Very well played. Very well played with the Horse Masters. They got a lot of work done. The Manticores, unfortunately, kind of messed with the wrong tree. It was a very angry tree, and it just kind of, you know, beat the snot out of them. But being very helpful in the late game, tear out in troops was very useful. Just shy of 2,000 damage value from the Summoners of Rage. And once again, we see the Summoners of Rage being picked every single time for Chaos. Doing so much work. Doing so much work indeed. So really lovely there. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. That was certainly a good one. Razael will be moving on. Looking forward to what he does in the next and future round. So about halfway through so far, guys. We've got done, we've done through 4 replays. We have Hanadins versus Ice Power next. Palpatine versus Servalano. Dr. Jellyfish versus Alfredinio. And Mofut versus Neckbert. All of which should be pretty epic games. And, ooh... I'm pretty bad at reading other languages, but I believe Hanadins may actually be playing the Dark Elves here. That would be the biggest ball play. Oh, that is the greatest mind play of all time if this is Dark Elves by Hanadins. Up against Ice Power, the well-known like Dark Elf main. He loves Dark Elves love him. Bring Marathi against him and what can he do? Like, he can't hurt his own lady, you know? Durfu pin in work? Yeah, Durfu pin a shift, guys. Durfu pin a shift. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, DP, some people say DP. If it is tied to Fae, it's normally, means Double Paladin. Could mean Dragon Prince as well, if in the context of the High Elves. You kind of got to figure out what it is, but... Durfu never ran, unlike Pretty Boy. That is true, Durfu still fought. Pretty Boy Sigvald did flee to try to save his own skin, so... Durfu wins that one, I guess, but he also died, so, you know... I don't know who got the better odds there. It's Ice Power, the greenskin main. Hey, Ice Power does love greenskins. He does love greenskins indeed. What's up, dog? How's it going? Woof woof to you, good friend. Hope you're all good in the herd. We've got lots of people watching as well. Hope you guys are enjoying this tournament. It's only going to get more crazy and more hectic as we go deeper into this event. On Thursday, we have the quarterfinals, best of 3, all of which will be live streamed. And it's not replays from this point. People are playing live on stream. And then we have the Thursday after the semi-finals, and then that Friday, the 3rd place and finals, which all will, of course, be for some pretty juicy funds. Massive shout out to Hans as well for creating this tournament and supporting with the sponsorship, and to Wicked D and Logic for helping referee. Without further ado, let's dive into Hanadins versus Ice Power. Have a little sip of my drink as we load in, and it is right, it is Dark Elves versus Greenskins. Hanadins, you dirty dog. This is such a play. Bring a Marathi against Ice Power. That's like the ultimate mind games here. And I don't honestly think Dark Elves are that garbage either up against Greenskins. I've seen it done. It's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. Quoof, quoof. Oh no. Quackalo. I'm gonna leave you guys to the quacks and the woofs. Would love to see an REL in a Wood Elf build with the Ultra Funds. It sounds like it'd be pretty good at nuking blobs. No, might be worth a try, Aloys, honestly. It might be worth a try on Ultra Funds. Because she's rather expensive. She's less good than she was before, of course, due to the loss of Unbreakable, which is unfortunately really painful for her. But this looks like a pretty damn rock and roll Dark Elf build from Hanadin, so let's hop into this. I'm very excited for this game. This is going to be such a grudge match. So we have Sisters of Singing Doom and a load of Witch Elves dotted all the way along with the Hellebronite as well, and some Dark Riders for support. In the secondary line, though, we have Cold One Knights, Cold One Dread Knights, more Cold One Knights, more Cold One Dread Knights, all the way along. Bad to the bones. Just look at these guys. They are Lords of War in their war glory, riding out to meet the enemy, and the mass cavalry can do relatively decent up against the Green Boys. We have the Seditious Harvesters as well, Doomfire Warlocks in the back, double Manticore, Marathi, the Ice Power staple being used against him. Marathi coming in with Soul Stealer. Lovely, lovely stuff. As for the Greenies, we do have the Death Creepers, we have Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and Morgulf's Mangy Marauders. So basically the max amount of skirmish cav you can have with both of the regiments of Renown. We have a Goblin Big Boss hiding in the trees with They Need Stabbing, Giant Ritual Hag with Spear Leech and Purple Sun, as well as some Big Orc. Oh no, Orc Biggins, but I call them Big Orcans, which doesn't make any sense. But Orc Biggins lurking in the trees, waiting to spring that trap. We have Grom the Paunch with all his buffs. We have the Regiment Round Night Goblins and more Biggins. And then a load of Savage Orc Biggins in the central core, backed up by Stone Trolls 1, 2, 3. Pretty useful in this matchup, in my little duck opinion, due to the fact they have that missile resistance. Makes them very solid choice up against the Dark Elves, who often bring a lot of skirmish cavalry. We also have two Goblin Rock Lobbers, so I have to see if they're a little bit more accurate. I don't know why people don't like Doomdiver Catapults, man. I love Doomdiver Catapults, and I think their tracking shots makes them significantly better than the Goblin Rock Lobbers. Most people seem to disagree, though, and I'm not a greenskin main, so Icepower, I'm sure, will know a lot more about it than I do. The Skirmish Cav is going to be falling back right now. Good use here of the Dark Riders. They're shielded. Just use them to waste the ammunition on the Spider Riders. Get your Sisters of Singing Doom, your Witch Elves, and all your cavalry into the front line relatively unscathed, and it will be a very good trade. We do have a Giant Ritual Hag, though, starting to push forward. Probably want to stop dropping Spirit Leeches on the Pharaoh Manticores, I would think. Dropping them on Marathi is a little bit pointless due to the Soul Stealer. If you're going to damage her, you kind of want to go for the kill rather than just doing that little bit of chip damage. Rock Lobber does aim at the Cold One Dread Knights, doing a little bit of splash damage, but no direct hits here. The Dark Riders are starting to be finished off, though, on the approach, but they are absorbing a decent amount of damage. Manticores are floating forward aggressively now. Dark Riders still taking shots now. The Cold Dread Knights have 120 armor and bronze shields. So they don't really give a damn either. They can easily charge in and overwhelm your opponents. Now, this is some really good play. The Night Goblins actually get hit by the Witch Elves. They will not be able to use their Fanatics cast because they are rampaging. And then they're going to go below the HP that they need to drop that ability. So no spinning loons for you today. Really lovely play there by Hanadins as the Cold One Knights do start to get into position. And it does look like some Biggins are getting kind of hounded and harassed down here. Spirit Leech does go down on Cold One Dread Knights as Skirmish Cav kind of peppers them from afar, though Dark Riders could counterpunch that rather quickly. Both Manticores go after the Goblin Big Boss, should be enough to finish him, and the Giant Ritual Hag is surrounded by Witch Elves, which is really not where she wants to be whatsoever. In the main fight, the Stone Trolls have counterpunched Cold One Knights. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be eating a Soul Sealer and a Word of Pain for their trouble with the Harvesters moving in, and the front line's going pretty good. We do get a Pit of Shades go down. It does rip up quite a few Witch Elves and Orc Biggins, rotating round to the left-hand side but not moving into the main fight. And down goes the Goblin Rock Lobber. Looks like they've been shot down by the superior cavalry here of the Dark Elves. You can see a lot of the Spider Riders being dealt with rather effectively as well with the Dark Riders. Savage Orc Biggins can try and hold the line, but this is so much cavalry right now, particularly with the Witch Elf support. Witch Elf stacked with the Cav is such a deadly combo. And Finns are going pretty good, though. Bounce Power is slightly greenskin favored at the moment. Sisters Singing Doom about to decapitate some Gobbos and drag their bodies back to be sacrificed upon altars of Cain. Grom the Paunch being hunted down by Marathi. They Need Stabbing has gone down, but the dreaded core here is coming down and devouring Grob rather nicely. Big, fat, juicy Soul Sealer goes down on the Stone Trolls. They thought they had the edge in this fight against the Cold One Knights. Not looking so good for them now, particularly the Hellebronite in there for support. They're actually wavering a little bit here. Grom is legging it, is the easiest way to say it. He is running to try and save himself. The war has gone down. One of the Goblin Rock Lobbers is still actually active and fine, which is very surprising. And now the Death Creepers are actually getting into some pretty juicy targets. A lot of the green skins are actually shattering rather than just breaking. Lovely kite in the back here by Ice Power, dragging the Sisters of Singing Doom to their own doom. More Forest Goblin Spider Riders are forcing shots into the Cold One Dread Knights, and it does allow the Greenskins started to edge it on that left-hand flank, but in the center and on this right, it is all coming up. Dark Elves, Death Creepers probably want to turn and face the Dark Riders here to try to overwhelm them. Lovely Dark Elf play. Bringing the Seditious Harvesters, finish off the Stone Trolls. There's still 10 models. Getting them off the field is so nice early on. Manticores are bounding around the battlefield, causing terror wherever they go. Now, Grom the Paunch has been stabilized. He's trying to rally himself to the Stone Trolls for a big, juicy fight. Sisters Sing and Doom are hunting them down, trying to finish them off, though all the Forest Goblin Spider Riders will be poking them from long range, trying to stop them from getting down and dirty. Only 5 armor on those lovely ladies, which does mean they're rather susceptible to the bow pressure. Marathi can continue to fly forward, as are the Manticores, and they can probably jump Grom here without too much threat. Yes, there's some Stone Trolls here, but all the Skirmish Cav is basically out of ammunition, and that's really worrying. It looks like the Stone Trolls are actually going to get hounded and harassed first. Marathi jumping down, twirling that halberd around, and starting to get through the thick skin of the Trolls, and here we go. The big fight is underway. Manticores do charge in. De Grayton is here, buffing up all these nearby lads, but likewise is a nasty Soul Sealer, and the Wand coming down as well. Manticores start to rampage. They've gone out of control. Skirmish Cav throwing its bodies into the mixer. This is a huge fight right now for the kind of finale of this battle, and Grom the Paunch gets butchered. Lucky Banner, it doesn't matter. He gets shattered. Marathi is far too powerful, coming with all those hexes to his stats, and just like that, the Greenskin forces, with the snap of their finger, are gone. It looks like Hanadins, with the ultimate mind games, bringing the Dark Elves against Ice Power, does book his spot into the quarterfinals. Very well played to Hanadins, very well played to Ice Power, but alas, Marathi always gets her way when it comes to Ice, and this time, she was against him, unfortunately. 2,045 damage value, 30 kills, really good work there by Mama Marathi. With, of course, her Manticore escort, as you'd expect. She did use a lot of Soul Sealers, probably still had 1 or 2 left in the tank though, for the later stages of the game if it came down to it. The Hellebronite, 800 damage value, a lovely pinning unit to kind of pin the enemy in place. I'm a massive fan of Hanadin's build. The Witch Elves combined with all the cavalry. Witch Elves get rid of the infantry, cavalry kills basically everything else. Combine them together to rampage units, it's just, beautiful play. It takes a lot of time in though, a lot of skill, but if you can make this type of build work, it can do really nasty damage. 137, 32, and 62 kills for the Witch Elves with 1,200 damage value, 398, and 822. Dark Rise did okay in the mid to low hundreds. The Cold One Knights more in the 775 value, 745, and 118. Not too bad, but they did a good job, right? A lot of them died, but they were pinning in enemy troops, running over trolls, and shutting down the enemy back line. As for the Cold One Dread Knights, 968 damage value, 509 and 937. Doomfire Warlocks getting 1,185, outperforming the rest of the cavalry, due, of course, to their bound abilities and spells, as well as chasing off, being fast and mobile, to chase off those stone trolls. Manticores, 825 damage value and 978. Lovely sniping potential on Grom the Paunch. And that was a big problem for the Greenskins, just getting key units assassinated or at least very badly wounded. 952 damage value for Grom, 522 on the Goblin Big Boss, 1,269 damage value on the Giant River Troll Hag. Across the board, the lads, the boys, kind of got in the mid-hundreds. The Savage Orc Biggins did actually really good. 696 value, 679, 1,041, and 706. Trying to be that kind of staple of, hey, we can beat back the majority of the infantry and deal with a lot of cavalry. And the Spider Warriors, let's see, 400 value, 400 value, 500 value, 710, 945. The Regiment Renowns are always worth it, particularly the Morgos, Mangy Marauders. They're such a solid unit for the Greenskins. Lovely value on those bad boys. As for the Trolls, 834, 695, and 400 damage value. Not amazing, but not terrible either. The Rock Lobbers, 248 value did basically nothing. The other one, those 779, faring far better, and certainly bringing a bit of a hurt, but well played to Hanadins, playing Ice at his own game and booking himself a glorious spot. Up next, we have more Beastmen action. And this time, though, up against Le Villain, also known as Servalano, and the Tomb Kings. So we get to see some Tomb Kings in action, which I'm very excited for. Nice one, Hanadins. Yeah, Hanadins played like a beast. What's up, more? How's it going, champ? Long time no see. Hope you're all well in the game. Hope you're all good in the hood. Yeah, GG's for sure. I'd be very surprised if Grom manages to escape. Never mind, says Dog. I'm assuming you were referencing the place where he got slaughtered. The Goblobber's good versus cavalry. It's true. I just think the Doomdiver Catapult is just so much more accurate that it kind of helps against them, because it's also very good at taking down flying targets as well. And you're going to see Manticores and Marathi, right? Or at least that's what you expect to. What are dogs but flying ducks? What are ducks but flying dogs? Yeah, good point. That is a good point indeed. That is a good point indeed. Doom divers are so awesome. They are. They are for sure. I don't know if you got back to me, McGryface, on your video on how it was going. I'm trying to zoom through the chat now, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back and find it in time. Let's go Skellies. Yeah, we got some Skellies. Who do you guys want to win this one? So we've got DBD's Papa Palpatine. I believe he is the only DBD guy left in the event at the moment. Up against Levan or Servalano, who I'm not sure if he's from a clan or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, who are you voting for? The Beastmen or the Tomb Kings? Let's delve into this. We've still got 3 games to go, so loads of juicy content yet. Let's hop into it. I'm going to have a little sip of my drink as we load in. And it is Torx the Brass Bull. It is, but it is against Saturn the Imperishable with a 20 stack versus a 20 stack. Undead forces in general, not a terrible counter to the Beastmen, due to the Beastmen's lowish leadership, so that fear certainly can add up, and the unbreakability certainly means they can grind down Beastmen. Something Beastmen do struggle with is, if they don't win the engagements early on, they can really struggle in the later stages of the game. So let's have a look at Papa Palpatine's build here. A very talented Beastman and Chaos player. In fact, he's kind of put down his Chaos sword and picked up the Beastmen in recent times, at least from what I can see. With Ungor Spearherds guarding the flanks and a load of cheap and cheerful Goreherds in the middle, including the Blackhorn Ravengers. These guys are ravenous and ready for action. They can do some really decent damage to the enemy front line, which tends to be, Skeleton Warriors, just cheap, kind of crumbly rubbish. And Goreherds with their axes can certainly carve their way through them. We have a load of Centicores, Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run, a staple for the Beastmen it would seem, and a load more Centicores on the left-hand side. Not that much skirmish carry though, going for a quite a big push and a rush style of play today. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the piggies, though. Razor Herds, a fantastic unit. So good for their cost. Great master pinning units, great AP. They do not have the greatest leadership and maybe not the greatest stats in the universe, but hey, their AP as well as mass certainly helps out. Plus, who doesn't love a little rotten, disgusting piggy? Let's give him a little neck scratch in his rotten flesh there to let him know, hey, you may be ugly, but, someone loves you somewhere, I'm sure. We have Gork's Manrippers in the central pocket of the battlefield, a couple of Manticores up in the skies, a beautiful Jabberslave down on the ground, and Torx the Brass Bull coming in with all of the goodies. No Scarf DLC yet for Torx. I have messaged CA multiple times about it, like, hey, we need a little Scarf DLC to make Torx unbeatable, his only weak spot coming in his neck here, but no word back yet. I'll keep you guys updated as time goes on. Brave Shaman is coming with shadows, actually, with the Mind Razor. We've seen Palpatine use the Mind Razor with the pigs before to really good effect, overcasting it and causing absolute bedlam and havoc. We have Pendulum, we have Enfeebling Foe, we have a really cool caster who doesn't actually have Traderkin, which is quite rare here. For the forces of Servalano and the Tomb Kings, we do indeed have Skeleton Horse Archers, a bucket ton of Skeleton Horse Archers. Gonna be nice to shoot into the Goreherds in general. We also have Setch the Imperishable, getting a little bit bold here, driving towards the enemy, looking to overwhelm them and be a big old pain in the butt. He's coming in with the Blessed Blade of Petra, Wrath of Petra, Incantation of Desiccation, and Incantation of Protection. Main battle line is going to be made up of King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion and then Tomb Guard. Tomb Guard not bad here whatsoever, mixed in with Skeleton Warriors, Tomb Guard of Halberds as well. Relatively decent elite infantry, Kepra Guard as well in the middle, backed up by more horsemen. Just line after line of elite skeleton troops. And with Ultra Funds, you can do that, which you normally can't do, unfortunately. Should be able to go relatively well against Gors and Ungors. We have the Chosen of the Gods in the center. We do have a Casket of Souls backed up by Tomb Guard. Looks like it's going to be a matter of trying to grind down the Beastmen and using the Skirmish Cavalry to whittle down large creatures. Does he have enough though? Double Manticore and Jabberslave is pretty scary, let alone having Torx Brass Bull on top of that. When you get some big shots come in by the Chosen Gods, looks like they all miss, as well as the Casket of Souls. Getting a bit of an unlucky connection, not doing too much there to the Goreherds, unfortunately. And the Beastmen are just beelining towards the enemy. Downhill charge, rush them, crush them, break their bones, and devour their bone marrow. That is the Beastmen plan, and is a plan I can certainly get behind. Skeleton Horse Archers doing some nice counter-skirmishing to the Centaurs. I think they're actually a vital unit in this matchup. You kind of have to bring them. Chosen of the Gods are also doing some pretty nice damage to the Centaurs. Centaurs starting to get a little bit whittled down, which is kind of scary for the Beastmen being such a key unit for them for the majority of matchups. Manticores starting to float their way to the back line. Casket of Souls does completely miss once more. Not done particularly good yet, Casket, have you? 12 kills isn't too great. And the Razorgors, they smell you Shopty blood. Pushing forward now. They need to be careful. Tomb Guard are counter pushing, as are the Horsemen. You Shopty should be able to escape now. Razorgors may be a little overextended, but look at that damage they got. Well worth it. And then they get out of there again. Lovely play. Oh no, they rampaged. Okay, was lovely play by Palpatine, but hey, can't have it all your own way, unfortunately. Skeleton Warriors get butchered. Jabberlife as well as the Brave Shaman overwhelm them. Torx the Brass Ball is just beelining into the back, and he's one of those tanky lords you can do this with. And you won't be assassinated super quickly. Over on the right-hand flank, Ungor spear herds are being butchered, as well as Razorgore herds and Gores by the mighty Cetra. The Imperishable doing a decent job on the right-hand flank. So, on the right-hand flank, Tomb Kings are prospering. On the left, it is all coming up Beastmen, though. Jabberlife has forced its way into the Halberds, and look at this beautiful boy, Manticore, swooping in to try to deal with the Chosen. Not too much left to counter them either. Skeleton Horse Archers trying to drive their steeds back as fast as they can physically go. Tomb Guard and Halberd are going to be coming over. Chosen Gods, though, have unfortunately lost a model. Casket of Souls only up to 17 kills now. Torx, get back here. Get back here, Cetra. I want your flesh. Get back here. But Cetra does manage to escape. A roar of frustration being ripped from Torx's mouth there. He is now surrounded, though, by Tomb Guard Halberds, which is a little scary. Lovely bit of friendly fire going into the back of the Tomb Guard there. Center of the battlefield's going really good for the Beastmen due to the Jabberlife's pressure. And here we have the Orcham's Mind Razor. Look at this area of effect. You don't see enough people overcast this. And they are butchering all these horsemen. It's not a good day for them whatsoever. Manticore rather healthy as well. At least one of them is up in the skies. The other one has unfortunately gone down here. Good protection in the back here by the Tomb King player, keeping the Casket of Skulls alive and active for as long as possible. Now, Cetra coming in with those flaming attacks after the Jabberlife is a really nice attack option. Coming in, trying to carve up the Beastie. Torx the Brass Ball is going to counterpunch though and drive back Cetra once again. Cetra just does not want to kind of tussle with the big mighty bull. Razorgores are rampaging, but hey, it's rampaging into a rear attack. Can't really blame them for that. Tomb Guard stuck between a rock and a very angry piggy. Not going to be enjoying that whatsoever. Tomb Guard desperately trying to hold on all fronts. But the Beastmen really are starting to overwhelm them. However, there's a decent amount of elite warriors left. The Kepra Guard as well as the Tomb Guard trying to surround the Jabberlife and drag it low. This Manticore has been isolated now and starting to rampage. Cetra getting down and dirty with it with the help here of the Skeleton Horse Archers. And because it's rampaging, not really attacking properly because it's trying to get through to Cetra, and it looks like it may actually go down here. Casket of Souls trying to flee before the wrath of Torx the Brass Ball, who lets loose a big moo as he's surrounded and shot by 1,000 arrows. Chosen of the Gods may be going down here. The pesky Brave Shaman, though, may get jumped, which could be very problematic. Manticore being forced back. Cetra's like, right, my army's not going to do it. I'm going to do it. And he's trying to pit this game on his back a little bit and drag down the Beastmen forces. Tomb Guard doing a good job as well. Dueling the Jabberlife, dueling the Korok's Man Rippers. But elsewhere, the Beastmen really letting their mobility be known. They're kind of dominating all of the mobile elements of the battlefield, apart from here, where the Manticore's being forced off by the Horsemen, who actually give up on that chase, which seems like a big mistake, as they really want to get rid of that Manticore. It can come back and hurt you another day. Brave Shaman does go Tomb Guard bowling and just goes straight down the line, running over an infinite amount of Tomb Guard, up to 74 kills, doing some lovely work and buffs. The Groku's Wolf's Run also going to come over here, and that mobility is really helping out massively right now to just eliminate the rather spread out Tomb Guard or Tomb King forces. Now, Jabberlife's getting a little low. We do get a Ushopti summon. It's trying to surround Torx Brass Ball, but he is so tanky. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Jabberlife with a lovely attack animation does try to bundle on top of the Casket of Souls, and essentially the Imperishable going to be going in. He's going to be going in. We do get Incantation of Desiccation going down. Negative 40 melee attack and 24 melee defense to Torx. With the Ushopti nearby, we have Cetra. He is going in for that character assassination because the balance of power and the game is going more and more in favor of the Beastmen. But look who it is. The Manticore does return, and he doesn't care about the debuffs. He is going to be rampaging, however, but together with Torx, it looks like we have Mind Razor going down to try to counteract the effects where possible, and Cetra is just getting slaughtered. Look how puny he is compared to Torx, who does stand a titan above such a king. King is getting forced back there. Ushopti Summon kind of keeping the game alive for the Tomb Kings right now. Brave Shaman looks like it may go down. Manticore could struggle and be forced off the battlefield as well, but the Chosen of the Gods do start to perish. Tomb God as well being jumped. Lovely play with the Jarvis Life, up to 64 kills. Cetra's looking around, trying to rally his forces, but where are they? He has King Nikish's Scorpion Legion, and some Tomb God who are crumbling, and that's about it. So not looking too good for the Bony Boys, unfortunately. Cetra going down with a fight, though, but going down he does indeed do. Masterful Jarvis Life play there by Palpatine was one of the key reasons he was able to win the game. More importantly, his use of mobility to isolate, pull apart, and destroy this Tomb King build. A Pyrrhic victory for sure, but whoo, that was a game. That was a game. Well played to Le Villain here. I will keep wanting to say Valano because I know that's his name on like on the replays and like his actual name in Discord and stuff, so this mixing me up a little bit there, but well played to him, man. You did a really good job getting this far in the tournament, making his debut as well on the channel in the last live stream and this live stream, but alas, going down to Palpatine again. One of those dark horses, I think, for the trophy. Very talented player, had a good run so far, took out quite a few big guns. I think he actually may have taken out Hadrius in one of the earlier rounds, so certainly a threat to be not taken lightly whatsoever. Particularly with his Beastmen and Chaos Man. They are so scary, but well played to both these lads. Let's go through the Tomb King forces first, as they did fall in battle. 2,055 damage value from Cetra is pretty damn good, honestly. It's not bad whatsoever. And despite the fact Taurox was a big menacing presence on the battlefield, he did manage to still get some decent work done, trying to avoid the Brass Ball where possible. Came in for that big snipe at the end, but alas, it was not enough. The Tomb Guard just did not pay for themselves. Even the Kepra Guard, 353 value on Kepra Guard. Oh, it makes me feel so bad. Makes me feel so bad. Halberds performed a bit better, kind of, in the 700 range for damage value. High 600s, 700s. The Halberds did a decent job. There was quite a lot of large targets for them to deal with today. Horsemen kind of got overrun, unfortunately. Yeah, even the Horsemen kind of got low hundreds damage value-wise. 1.2k on the Casket of Souls, though, is rather nice. Chosen Gods, 827 damage value. Trying to stay alive where possible, but that pressure was just unrelenting from the Beastmen forces. Talks of Brass Ball. Man, he's such a tank. Nearly 3,000 damage value, over 10k damage dealt, 52 kills. Lovely work. Brave Shaman of Shadows, 1.1k damage value is rather nice. And yeah, the Gore Herds, mid kind of hundreds, bit of a mixed bag. 867 was the standout in the form of the Black Horn Ravengers, 85 kills at that. Forks Man Reapers did okay, 585 value, but they were targeted down quite a bit, so they weren't super optimal today. Interesting enough, like, the mass mobility of only one unit of range cavalry, but you can see how much better they are. 276, 246 for the Centaurs, but the Regiment Renowned Throne Axes, 900 value instead. The Piggies got 420, 630, 610, and 558 damage value. Not bad whatsoever, considering their relatively low cost. 674 damage value on the Manticore, and 212. But the Jarvis Life, 64 kills, over 12k damage dealt, 2,335 damage value, an absolute wrecking ball, bouncing around and slaughtering the Tomb King forces. Well played, but Palpatine shall indeed be moving on now to the quarterfinals, which is pretty good. Up next, we do have the legendary Dr. Jellyfish up against Alfredinio. Should be a good fun game. Should be a good fun game. I believe Alfredinio did finish second in the Warhammer World Championships, and Dr. Jellyfish is currently, I believe, one of the finalists in the Polish Championships. So it's a battle of titans right here. Should be a good fun game. ODM versus Sons of the Mountain. I think Dr. Jellyfish may be the only Sons of the Mountain guy left. I'm trying to think how many ODM players are left. It might actually just be... We've got Hanadins and Razael, and then Alfredinio as well. Yeah, I think that might be it. So, some of the clans, still the majority of the clans have representatives. There's still DBD members in there. Still got some VM members in there. Still got some XMT members in there. And ODM as well, in fact. And Sons of Mountains. Actually, do we have a VM member left? I don't think Void's VM. So, maybe not actually. Oh, maybe Mofet is. I can't remember. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. What's up, Parkrilla? How's it going, man? Hope you're all good in the hood. Good to see you around, man. Let's crack and go. Palpatine, the shining star of DBD. Yeah, he's been performing really well, man. Kelliger Ironfist, where are the dwarfs? Give me the dwarfs. I don't know if we're going to see any dwarfs. Maybe from Dr. Jellyfish. He's a Sons of the Mountain geezer, so he does tend to... They tend to favor the dwarfs quite a bit. It is a dwarf-centric clan. Torox in chat. Torox, Torox, Torox. I agree, buddy. I agree for sure. I agree for sure. Chosen of the Chads. Scarf cost 2 Charlemagne's. Yeah, that scarf would be very expensive. Ari, my next set of videos, my artist is taking a little time off to finish a game she's working on. We'll get to the next set out in a couple of weeks. Awesome stuff. For those who don't know, McRightface does actually have a YouTube channel. You definitely go check him out if you're into all things fantasy-based. There's a lot of good storytelling work. But yeah, make sure to go check him out. Make sure to check out the boy. Yo, Miss Mo. What's up, man? Hope you're all good. Section of the chat, it can do with Torox. I mean... he kind of got beat up pretty bad here, but I get what you mean. With some good cycle charging, there is always a chance. There is always a chance, of course. The Father Palpatine, indeed. But Alfredinio is going to be up next versus Dr. Jellyfish. 2 games to go here in this round of 16. Let's see how it fares. And it is going to be all Vampirates versus Dark Elves. Lots of Dark Elves today. Oh my god. Please say Raptors in chat. Please say Raptors in chat. Someone, if not, someone spam Raptor in Discord to get here. We have double depth guard with polearms? Oh no, are they not polearms? How's that? This must be known. Are these polearms or are these basic ass? We have double depth guard polearms. This is why I love this type of format. Mixing it up a little bit. Coming ultra funds. Bringing regiments of renown, bringing crazy units you wouldn't normally see. I kind of want the VP to win now. I mean, I don't want to be biased, but we have depth guard with polearms, guys. They look so freaking cool. I love their little loincloth-like symbols as well. Very Voldemort vibes, but yeah, vampire units, their undeadly eyes glowing with evil intent. Lovely stats all round, although only having 45 models can be a little bit problematic. Their main job is guarding the flanks today, and it is a rather... once again, Dowie influenced build. So, though we're not seeing the dwarfs, we are seeing the heart of the dwarfs here. With a defensive box formation. Those are zombie pirate deckhand mobs, those are zombie pirates in general across the board. Double polearms is rather nice. Triple scurry dogs in the back. We have Mornagles as well as the Night Terrors. We have a Gunnery White, in fact 2 Gunnery Whites, which is... you know, the standard. If you see a VP build without double gunnery white on crabs, you're normally not playing in a tournament. We have carronades and mortars alike, so double carronades, 1 mortar. We do have the Shade Wraith gunners, double zombie pirate gunnery mob bombers, and Count Noctis on foot. And look at him, so regal, standing in front of his army. I created these. These are my babies. I shall fight for them. Coming in with all the summons, as you'd expect, with Captain Roth's Moondial, the Reef Storm, Arcane Conduit, Invocation of Heck, and Drowned Dead. Look at him raise his hands. I summon you, mighty Poseidon. Grant me the strength to slay my enemies. And his enemies are numerous. We have a pretty damn awesome Dark Elf build here. Coming in from the man, the myth, the legend, Alfredinio. We have Shades, and Shades dotted in the front. Their hidden status, their stalk ability, should give them a decent range to get into the enemy. And this can be very problematic for the VP in such a tight formation. These type of units are really good against that type of build. We have Blackheart Corsairs as well, dotted all the way through the front. Dual-wielding pirate maniacs looking to carve their way through the enemy as quickly as possible. We have Dark Riders as well as Sneshish Harvesters, Doomfire Warlocks. Triple Harpies in the skies for some nice backline harass. Double Reaper Bolt Throwers. Interesting to see how they fare actually today. Up against the double carronade, you'd expect relatively okay, but at least it's going to take some shots away from some of the other elements, such as these Dark Riders in the back. More importantly, the Chill of Sontar, the chilliest of boys. Look at this beautiful Hydra. It's just so happy to be here and carve its way into the history books by hopefully slaughtering some enemies. Lovely pattern on its skin as well. It is coming in, of course, with the Frost Breath, which is a ability which looks really cool. And leading the battle line, we actually have a Supreme Sorceress of Fire. Oh, hell yeah, this is cool. On a Cold One mount, she looks absolutely wild hunched over. She looks like a devil brought into the realms. Looking really evil there. That's a very cool model. I like all the tattoos. Coming in as with the Black Horror, as well as Arcane Conduit, the Burning Head, and Flaming Sword of Ruin. So without further ado, let's get this battle underway. I do also like the Crows of Cain up in the skies. Shades aren't going to be revealed here, which is really bad news for the Dark Elves, though they are going to get a pretty disgusting volley off onto the Gunnery White. Luckily for him, he's staggered away from a big amount of arrows as well, which is very good news for him. However, he's taking an absolute pounding right now. You can see the Shade Wraith Gunners, the mortars, focusing down the Shades very quickly. Dr. Jellyfish, I like this a lot, has realized what is the biggest threat my opponent has that poses me. It is these Shades. The Shades are deadly, so once I can reveal them with my Gunnery Whites, I'm going to annihilate them. Now, he took a load of damage, but he does have Invocation the Heck. The Shades do not, so really lovely play so far by the VP, though they are about to be surrounded relatively soon as the Harpies do move in from all directions. It looks like the Chill of Sontar isn't the focus of attention, but the bolt throwers are indeed, and the bolt throwers are not trying to counter-shoot to the enemy cannons, perhaps hoping that the Shades can deal with them, instead focusing down the Gunnery White. Early summon does come down, catching out the Shades. Really lovely play here, really forcing them back, and it looks like the Black Hawk Corsairs are trying to circumvent them rather than engage, and just ignore them and push into the enemy battle line. We are going to get a Flaming Sword of Rune go down. This does, of course, boost the base and missile damage as well. And we have a lot of Shades in here. 3 Shade units. Also gives them magic attacks. And they are wasting the Shade Wraith Gunners. What a combo. I love this play. Flaming Sword of Rune give you magic attacks. So bye-bye Shade Wraiths. And they go down to the last man. Now, Dark Riders are lancing in, trying to shut down the deckhand mobs. We have Black Hawk Corsairs also pushing in, trying to surround the enemy where possible. But the Shades are taking quite a pounding as well. They need to move forward and start taking out these artillery crews. But it looks like they're currently focusing down the bombers instead. Big fat juicy burning head's going to certainly help do that. The crab as well being roasted a bit there, sizzled up nice and tight for a juicy meal perhaps for the Supreme Sorceress a little bit later on. Bolt throws as well doing some fantastic damage to that Gunnery White in general. We do have the zombies still chasing off the Shades. Chill Sontar really hasn't got involved in the battle yet, perhaps waiting for some of the other elements to be dragged down before he does engage. And the Black Hawk Corsairs slowly carving their way through the enemy. Harpies are ready to swoop in. We've got a nice flank overload as well of Black Hawk Corsairs, but you're flank overloading into Depth Guard, which certainly isn't too nice. Looks like the Harpies are going to get counterpunched by the Scurvy Dogs here in the back. And now the Mongols have been revealed, they can certainly turn around and start beating on the Crows of Cain. Double Black Hawk Corsairs are going to try to team up against the Depth Guard who countercharge them, and it's going to be an interesting fight there for sure. Now the Shades are falling back. Good tight control by Alfredinio so far on them. Chill of Sontar shall be driving forward, and we are once going to get another burning head, this time on some bombers as well as the polearms. No, it's actually the Black Horror coming down, but hey, similar effect. It looks so beautiful in a kind of disgusting, horrifying way, and the bombers are going to get finished off quite well there, though the Harpies are driven away, so perhaps they shall live yet. Skirmish Cav jumping on the Scurry Dogs. He needs to keep an eye on the Scurry Dogs, because if any of them can sneak their boots round, the bolt throwers will be dead very, very quickly. Very close game so far. I would say that it's pretty even, actually. I don't really think any side has a better engagement yet. Chill of Sontar, though, could cause all kinds of havoc and problems if he manages to take down the range elements of the VP forces. You can see yet another Flaming Sword of Rune go in. Depth Guard polearms desperately trying to claw on for life. Mongols, though, are in here as well. Count Oculus is a sturdy boy indeed in the middle, and the Spearmen, the Hellebrone, are not liking up those shots so far. Chill of Sontar is going to feast on Crab tonight. Gunnery White taking massive damage, but oh, the play, Dr. Jellyfish sneaks Skodogs up and around. All the Dark Elf Skirmish Cav has committed to the fight. Looks like they're going to jump on the Shades. They could finish off double bolt thrower here, which is still 4 bolt throwers active. This one, though, is taking quite a loss, but looks like the Skodogs instead actually going to jump on the Shades. Either target's not bad, but the Skodog's been alive here. They need to jump on something soon, otherwise the Shades could counter shoot them back, and it looks like they are been jumping onto the Shades instead of the cannons. Good pick as well, good choice as well. Harpies and Dark Riders do 2v1. A lot of units. Depth Guard, unfortunately, are going down here. Scurvy Dogs are trying to support the back line. Very close game now. Big problem is this Chill of Sontar, but a bigger problem for the Dark Elves is Count Noctilus. They have nothing to kill him right now. Hellebroni are forcing back the Carronade. Word of Pain goes down on it, surprisingly. Lots of damage being dealt here, but the Night Terrors have held the line. Scurvy Dogs trying to beat back Dark Riders and protect this last bastion of hope for the VP in the Central Force. Bounce power is dead even right now. Big juicy chill comes down the line onto the Depth Guard. Oh no, the damage, so much work done there by the Chili Boy. We still have the Crows of Cain as well and come back and try to support, but the Scurvy Dogs do pounce on top of the bolt thrower, taking out the one which had 3 artillery pieces left, and that is really bad news for the Dark Elves, because that is a load of pressure. You can single shoot for characters to death. It takes time. Look at the ammo they have. They could definitely have killed Count Noculus and the Crabos, but they have gone down to some good good Scurvy Dog play. Might be the play of the game so far, but Alfredinio is certainly not out of this yet. He's done a really good job hunting down the enemy back line. One Gunnery Wight down, one to go, and the Chill of Sontar needs to start going around its butcher's work alongside the Crows of Cain, trying to deal with the Mongols as well as these Night Terrors. We do get a big, fat, flaming sort of rune go down as the Snatchers Harvesters move into the fight, and the Black Hawk Corsairs and the Shades trying to whittle down the enemy from long range. Now, the Supreme Sorceress of Fire is vibing outside the fight for now. We do have some Black Hawk Corsairs on the right. Love to see them just whip around and finish off these artillery crews. Though it looks like they may have actually used up all the carried artillery pieces being destroyed here, which is a bit of a shame. Now, balance power is slightly in favor of Dr. Jellyfish and the VP right now, but it's still very close. However, the Chill of Sontar's taking massive damage. Count Noculus, certainly like the Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nine to F with, and is doing a decent amount of damage right now. Chill of Sontar has to fall back and try to regenerate some of that health. Shade's been whittled down, and Mortar is still firing in. Everything focused on the Shades, and I think Dr. Jellyfish might have this. Alfredinio is trying to scrap. We've got Harpies return, more Shades coming back to the fight. We've got Dark Riders who can rally as well, but they're really starting to run out of steam. Their kind of main hope currently lies on the Chill of Sontar, and it's just not good enough to kill Count Noculus. In the back, Harpies unfortunately shatter, as do Black Hawk Corsairs trying to move in here, but the Gunnery Wight is a really good protective unit in the back. We do get a nasty word of pain go down on the Scurvy Dogs, looking to finish them off as Harpies swoop in. The Mongols still going strong despite the Chill of Sontar's nearby presence, and in comes the Supreme Sorceress of Fire. She's on a cold one. She knows how to handle herself in melee. She can certainly fight to the death here. We have more Black Hawks as well rallying, and Shades have come back, and it looks like the Dark Elves starting to scrap their way back in with so many of these units starting to crumble here. Death Guard with polearms going down. Mongols starting to go down. Night Terrors rampaging all over the place. Chill of Sontar needs to get out of here and escape and just regenerate his HP, but he can't because the Gunnery Wight can shoot him from long range. The Supreme Sorceress comes in like a vengeful demon born from the realms of evil to try to shut down the Gunnery Wight, but he's having none of it, and look who it is. The Death Guard polearms rally to their Leech Lord, bring down the foul Sorceress. Mighty vampires of the undead, and she is really struggling now. The Death Guard getting down and dirty, and they put her in her place. A Pyrrhic victory for Dr. Jellyfish, taking out probably one of the favorites for the tournament, Alfredinio. I mean, it's hard to say because all the players in this tournament at this stage are stupidly talented. Dr. Jellyfish, as we said earlier, is a finalist in the Polish Championship, so he's certainly nothing to scoff at, and is certainly someone to look out for in the next round. Alfredinio was a mighty roar indeed, but unfortunately will be bowing out here in the round of 16, not quite making it to the quarterfinals. And a moment of silence for all the brave warriors we've lost so far. We've lost many a brave warrior to the slaughter, but that is simply the way of war. Well played to Alfredinio. A big shout out to Dr. Jellyfish coming in with the polearms. Yes, 1.6k damage value and 958k. Less impressive with the left unit, but hey, the right hand side unit did some glorious work and was still alive in the later stages of the game. Count Noculus, only 893 value. The majority of that, though, coming on that Hydra, which is really nice and clutch. And yeah, Gunnery Wights kind of make me sick now. I've seen them every game. I'm like, but they're so good, and I would recommend every VP player does bring two, despite the fact that people are getting tired of seeing them. They're just too good to leave out. 1.3k damage value, 473. The lovely use of their ability as well to clear out some of the spearmen in the mid game, and just constantly poke down the enemy, though one of them was sniped relatively effectively by the bolt throwers and Supreme Sorceress and the like. Infantry didn't do too much, but hey, it's unlit infantry. It's born to die. We've already gone over the Depth Guard. I was just too excited. I had to get in and see their action. This unit MVP for me, simply because they're polearms who actually pay for themselves. 567 on the bombers, as well as 466. Not bad. Not bad. They got focused down quite a bit by the Shades. They still did a decent job. Shade Wraiths going down. Scurvy Dogs, that lovely play. This may have been the play that won the battle. I mean, it's hard to say either way, but the Scurvy Dogs, 985 damage value, whipping around the flank, shutting down both bolt throws when they still had like half ammunition, was massive, because VP had started to lose their own artillery, and those dreaded what are they called again? The bolt throwers. Yeah, the Reaper bolt throwers. I always want to say the Eagle Claw bolt throwers because of the high elves, but yeah, the Dread bolt throwers could have perhaps dragged down the other Crabbo and then left Count Noculus stranded. So beautiful play with the Scurvy Dogs. Mongols, 958 and 1.2k damage value. Nice use of them as well in a defensive approach. 1.4k value on the mortar. That's disgusting. And a 450 damage value apiece on the carronades. As for Alfredinio, 973 damage value on the Supreme Sorceress, 92 kills, not bad. I like the double attack coming in from the horror as well as the burning head can really clear through the chaff. And look at these kills on Black Hawk Corsairs, 90, 135, 75, big numbers. But what's the damage value like? Well, 791, 445, 555, 711, and 261. Not great, but not terrible either. The Hellbronites got obliterated by magical powers, unfortunately for them, so they did not do too good. Shades, 450, 840, 1,000, and 986 damage value. Doing good work despite the nice counterplay by Jellyfish. The Horsemen didn't do too well. 1.7k though on the Snatcher's halves is really good. Harpies did some good harass though, they didn't really pay for themselves. Oh my god, really bad value. 49 value here, 162. The Crows of Cain performed the best though. 35 kills and 724 damage value. 69 kills on the Chili Boy. He knows how to party. He knows how to party it strong there. 2,455 damage value. Bolt throws 635 and 300 value. Having their life cut short there by the scurviest of all dogs. And Dr. Jellyfish will be moving on to the quarterfinal. I think it's actually Jellyfish against Void, I think, in one of our quarterfinals. I'll get the list up at the end of this. We need to find out who's going to take that last spot. We have Mofet and we have Nickbert, two mighty warriors. I have no idea what they're playing yet, but should be some good fun indeed. Respect to all the fallen warriors, 100%, man. 100%. What's up, Rusty? How's it going, champ? Hope you're all good in the hood, buddy. We have one game to go left on this live stream. It's been good fun, though, so far. Good fun. Probably gonna be about a 2-hour live stream, which isn't too long, but hey, we got another live stream come in Thursday, and then another live stream the Thursday after, and the Friday, all tournament action for you guys. I know everyone loves tournaments, and so do I. It's been really good fun, actually, mixing up the meta a little bit and having this ultra fun tournaments. Must shout out to Wicked D and Logic as well for helping referee this. We haven't actually had that many problems yet so far, which with a prize pool of this much money, which is $1,200, which is kind of unheard of. You'd expect there to be quite a few rule breaks, but all the players have, performed really respectfully so far and had some really good fun games, so we haven't had too much to deal with. But despite that, still well played. Massive shout out to Wicked D and Logic for being true champs and stepping up to be referees in this event. My god, we've got 87 people watching. Hope you guys are enjoying. We're about to delve into the last game. Just taking a moment there to rest my voice. There have been some pretty high adrenaline games, and I expect this one to be no different. But if you guys have been enjoying, make sure to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe as well. We're going to be covering a load more of this tournament, of course, as the weeks do go on. And I've got some plans. Got some plans for some pretty awesome tournaments into Total War Warhammer 3. And that's on the horizon. It's, what, like 2-3 months away now? Which isn't long at all. That's going to come at us pretty quick. Pretty quick. Hopefully I'll get my grubby little duck paws on that a bit earlier as well to give you guys some early access stuff. But it might be a little bit of it might be a little while before then, I'd think. I think the bigger boys get it first and we wait for the breadcrumbs. We wait for the breadcrumbs. So let's delve into this. Mofet vs Neckbert. Last little swig of the drink. Glorious stuff. And quickly need to check a message. Looks like we're all good though. Boop boop boop. Yes, cool. I think we are all good, so let's hop back in and load into this game. Join the Quack Squad. Is there time for a free-for-all after this? Probably not, just because it's getting a little late here and I have to cook. But maybe we can do some kind of like free-for-all tournament later in the week, maybe. Although we have to stream Thursday. I might be able to do a stream Friday or something. Anyway, guys, it is Beastmen versus Greenskin. Seen a lot of these factions, and we've seen so much Torx of Brass Spawn. Once again, he has been picked here. This is Mofet, I believe, with the forces of the Beastmen, and Neckbert with the forces of the Greenskins. There's a little look on his build. We do indeed have Centicles, as well as Chaos Warhounds with Poison on the left-hand flank. Main battle line is Ungor Spearheads and Blackhorn Ravengers through the main battle line, including the Destroyers of Drakwold. More Chaos Warriors and Centicles on the right-hand flank. With some Tuskor Chariots, 2 in the center. We have a Feral Manticore up in the skies. It looks like 2 Feral Manticores, in fact. They often do come in pairs, the mighty beasts. Grey Shaman of Wild coming in with Traderkin and Brave Scream, which is good to see. Triple Centicles with Thrown Axes, one of which is the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run. We do get to see our boys this time, though. I love this unit. They're so cool. The Butchers of Galgangard, ready to slay any petty manlin who comes near them. We also have the Jealous Life and Torx Brass Ball coming in with all the goodies. Big fan of this Beastman build, pretty nasty stuff. As for the greenskins, we do have more Ghost Mangy Marauders, Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and more Goblin Wolf Riders as well. Lovely play there. Lovely Goblins in the front, backed up by a bucket ton of Stone Trolls and Orc Boys. This is a crazy build coming in. Look at all the Stone Trolls lined up here. And it looks like it's just mainly basic Orc Boys. A couple of Savage Orc Biggins in the midst as well. Black Orc Big Boss, Giant River Troll Hag, the Arachnarok Queen, who looks absolutely fantastic and fabulous as always. If you don't agree, she will attack you with a horde of spiders. I actually had a duel of spider today in my kitchen. It was an epic battle for the ages. Maybe I should have kind of done a replay of it for you guys for me to cast. Also, I've grown the paunch in the back here, and that is gonna be it. So without further ado, take your bets. Take your bets. This is the last fight. Who shall book their place? Shall it be the Beastmen forces of Mofet? Or shall Neckbert laugh and reign supreme? Surprised he didn't bring any of his undead forces, but maybe they were banned in the pick and banning section. The Spider Riders, Morgos Maiden Marauders, get that 360 no-scoping going. Blackhorn Ramagers raise their shields and absorb a decent amount of the damage. They won't mind taking those shots. It's what they were born to do. It's what they were molded to do. They hadn't seen a battlefield without an arrow till they were nearly a man, and then it was nothing but blinding. Blackhorn Ramagers, though, will be pushing forward here, taking a load of damage. Torque's Brass Ball laughs as he gets shot by a rogue arrow. And in come the Ungor Spearhead. Stone Troll's going to counterpunch them pretty hard, though. And yeah, bad day to be an Ungor. Blackhorn Ramagers trying to move into support, but again, not a fight they're going to enjoy whatsoever. In the distance, have Centaurs and Warhounds have floated around the back, looking to apply a bit of pressure to the Skirmish Squad, I expect, because the Skirmish Squad currently has free reign. Torque the Brass Ball shoves Grom back, who rather wisely retreats. However, we have a load of Swamp Things. I didn't spot these ladies. They've come in here with the Orc Boys and the Arachnarok Queen to go after the Torques the Brass Bull, who gets flung to the ground, but he does stagger the Queen in return. Thrown axes are being poured on to the Queen, whereas the Greenskin Skirmish has been hunted down here by Chaos Warhounds with Poison and Centaurs. This is disastrous. The Greenskins losing their skirmish, and the Beastmen have it well and truly in full effect. Means they can rain so many shots down on the Arachnarok Queen. Traitorkin comes down, and the Trolls are being butchered. Manticores have committed to the fight. It looks like Tuskor Chariots as well. A big old blob fight right now it kind of has emerged into. Stone Trolls, the Swamp Things, Orc Boys, everything in swift retreat, leaving the Spider alone. She's trying to scuttle to freedom. Manticore pinning her in place, though. The Geometral Hag gets her big old bag of meat and whips out on the Manticore, doing a pretty decent amount of damage. Grom the Paunch trying to fight in here. Something needs to push back this skirmish, though. Something has to. We've got Goblins on the way. Even the Black Hole Big Boss, get back here and start forcing back this skirmish cavalry, because look at the damage the Arachnarok Queen has taken. It's disgusting. She's probably going to get assassinated here. Those Centaurs and the Butchers come in. Lovely use of Soul Blight, though, to try to even the odds. But Torque's Brass Bull, he loves a challenge, and he's getting in there, just pitting that spider in its place. One Manticore has been dealt with, but in the distance, all the Greenskin Skirmish Cav has been executed. We just have Morgos Major Marauders left alive. Everything else was dealt with. Really masterful play there by the Beastmen player in the Skirmish Cavalry fight. Now, Torque's Brass Bull is trying to duel Grom. The war is active, though, which makes this a little bit scarier. The Arachnarok Queen is still pinning a shift, taking down Feral Manticores and the like, but this Skirmish Cav's done so much work. Likewise has the Ungor Raiders. Bray Shaman has gone bold. She summons down the Chaos Feral Manticore to attack Grom the Paunch, who has been driven away, trying to hide amongst the Orc Boys. He does wheel around, though, and look to engage with the Feral Manticore, starts to waver it, hacking at it with his mighty axe, and it looks like the Manticore is going to be getting forced off here. Arachnarok Queen, though, doth go down, and that's really bad news for the Green Boys. Torque's Brass Bull is so healthy as well. He can quite comfortably solo Grom at the moment, and the Butchers of Kaltengard are with him, his ever-loyal mighty Minotaur bodyguards, and Grom the Paunch is just not loving this whatsoever. Elsewhere in the battlefield, it is just dominated by the mobility of the Beastmen. The Jabberslaves, what's the Jabberslave been doing? Has it been involved in the fight? Not at all. The tactical Jabberslave left in deep reserve has sprung its trap. Aha! I am here! Fear me, but follow. And he's going to be jumping in on top of all the Greenskin forces here. So winning without even having the Jabberslave? Because this looks like a Beastman win right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but there does not seem enough to drag down Taurox. Grom the Paunch is really struggling. Feral Manticore pinning it in place. There's a decent pocket resistance here for Neckbert with the Stone Troll, so maybe I called it a bit too early. But with the Queen going down, you can see her curled up carcass there on the ground going down, and yeah, Grom the Paunch simply cannot stand for the wrath and might of Torque's the Brass Bull, who I believe won every single game he played today, maybe. So he's done very good. Grom the Paunch is fleeing. The Feral Manticore, though, does shatter, so he's not able to chase him off, though the second Manticore has returned to the battlefield, and Grom the Paunch's troops are abandoning him. Spirit Leech goes down the Grog Hooves. Brace Scream as well. Lovely Brace Scream actually catches out the Orc boys there, and the Black Horn Ravagers are getting in here, trying to chop their way through and protect Taurox at all costs. Now, where are the Butchers of Kalkengard? Are they still alive? Looks like they're just chasing off some enemies and regenerating their HP, and the tactical Jaroslav plays is enough to seal a juicy Pyrrhic victory for the Beastmen and Mofit. So Mofit will be picking a spot in the next round into the quarterfinals, which is pretty awesome stuff. And yeah, that is indeed going to be game. What's up, Zach? How's it coming? The Jabba doing good. The Jabba doing very good. Been very impressed with the Jabba. How do you kill that which is already dead? You keep killing it until it stays dead. That is a good point. That is a pretty good point indeed. So well played to both these lads. Neckbutts had a really good tournament. Unfortunately, we'll be bound out here in the round of 16. He got 720 damage value on Grom the Paunch, 400 on the Black Orc Big Boss, and 790 on the Giant Ritual Hag. As for the infantry, it's probably going to be in the low hundreds for the most part. It looks like that is so for the Gobbos as well as the boys. 997 damage value though on the Savage Orc Big Uns, and 157, so definitely a tale of two very different units there. The Stone Trolls, 775, 796, and 374 damage value, with 31, 35, and 31 kills. The Swamp Things, I like this idea, you know, to nuke the enemy stats, but only 530 value, kind of got swamped. 650 on the Spider. He honestly outperformed what I think they should have, considering they're in the bad situation they found themselves. And losing the Skirmish Cav like that was just a disaster. It was huge. 400 damage value on the Morgrub's Mangy Marauders, the best of the Skirmish Cav, and that's not saying much. As for Mofit, Taurox Brass Ball, 2,000 damage value, 90 kills, and 1,723 on the Brave Shaman. Oh, lovely play there, and so much work done. The Destroyer's Ratworld, 430 value, Blackhorn Ravagers, 577. Any other standouts? I mean, the Centaurs did a really good job just hounding and harassing the enemy skirmish so effectively. 99 kills, 1.1k damage value, 67 on the other unit, 880 done. Unfortunately, Rezigal Chariots didn't do much, 500 value, 269, but they're relatively healthy in the later stage of the game, both just losing one model. Now, this is the big moment with those thrown axes up against that Spider. 1.2k value, 545, and 579. This unit performing so well and probably being my MVP. 490 on the Poison Hounds on 359, just escorting the enemy off the battlefield. Manticores did a decent job, 940 damage value and 720. The big Jabba, the tactical Jabba, full health at the end of the day, only 155 damage value, but jumped in just be like, boo, at the end to really surprise the Greenskins. Butchers of Kalkengard, 932 damage value, relatively healthy in the later stages to bring more pain to the enemy as well. But yes. Fire damage versus Grom can help for sure. What's up, Matthew Coffin? How's it going, buddy? Unfortunately, you did just miss the last game. You did just miss the last game. You did miss the last one there, unfortunately. Yes, crazy how Beastmen were winning with like 1,600 gold AFK. Yeah, it was mainly just came down to killing the Skirmish Cav, honestly. If the Skirmish Cavalry had managed to fight for the Greenskins, it would have been a much more even fight. They got overwhelmed, shut down, and then all the key units of the Greenskins kind of got dragged in to this matchup they really did not want to be in. They did not want to be there, unfortunately. Which kind of sucks for them. So, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. It was certainly a good, fun live stream. It's, yeah, actually, we might better, you know what? Oh, no, I don't think I've got time. Sadly, okay, next time I'm going to try and do a free-for-all at the end of the live stream. But for today, that is going to be it. But before you go anywhere, I do have one last request to you guys, and that is that you follow me one last time. We're going to go raid a Total War YouTuber and yell quack at them, demand bread, and all that good stuff. So let's go on a little raid. I'll send you guys on. Let's go Total War Warhammer multiplayer, or just Total War Warhammer, I guess. And we'll try and find a live streamer. See if anyone is live. No way, are we the only people live on YouTube? Oh no, that's multiplayer. We're the only multiplayer person live. Which is kind of sad in a way, that we are the only ones. But it looks like Dame Offensive, oh my god, she has 340 watching her. She's really booming recently, which is quite cool. Is actually doing a stream. She's doing one called a Morga 1 Cow Doomstack campaign. So, I know it's campaign, but feel free to go over and yell quack. Dame did actually play a decent amount of multiplayer as well, having played in our Teach Me Total War event that we hosted by Creative Assembly. So please do hop over here, yell quack. You don't have to stick around for too long, but to show your support, to a lovely lady who does some really good Total War Warhammer content. GG's! Hey, bug up, better late than never. I appreciate you turning up, Matthew, anyway, and don't worry, you can watch the entire thing. You can watch the entire thing. The whole thing will be uploaded. Thanks for the support today, guys. It's been very awesome stuff indeed. And I think I missed something. Where is that? I missed a donation. Oh, I think it was Nate Sweet. Thank you so much, Nate, for becoming a member of the Royal Duck Guard. I appreciate it greatly, bud. So cheers for that, man. And for those who are saying thanks for stream, no worries, guys. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying this tournament. The next round, which will be the quarterfinals, is going to be on Thursday at 7 p.m. GMT. Plenty of content before then. I might even do a stream on Twitch tomorrow during a little bit earlier in the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay